Only based on
Okay.
I know the roster a lot better
Yeah.
than Turtle, and I know there's things that they are capable of that you wouldn't even dream about. And I say again, I say this boldly, and I did bet Fraser a pair of crepes if ARIZING won, so I'm really hoping they win now, so I don't have to buy Fraser a pair of trainers.
Now that I'm here, can I get in on this?
So am I just buying everyone shoes now?
No.
Is this what's happening?
If Turtle win, you buy me the crepes. But if ARIZING win, Fraser buys you the crepes. Deal?
No, there's no deal on that.
What?
If ARIZING win, you both buy me crepes. If Turtle win, you both don't buy me crepes. How about that?
Wow, that is rigged to the highest order.
That's what I reckon should happen, you know?
Something... Moving on from this incredibly rigged thing right now, something I do want to say is, ARIZING, I have to support you there. I feel like these operator bans really do favour them.
And it's interesting here to see Sunny on the Nook as well. I don't get to see that a lot, and when I do, I get very excited. I think Nook, again, a very underrated operator. I think if you're going to go for a secondary push entry from a second or third dimension, you certainly want that element of surprise, you want that silence, you want the ability to sneak up undetected. So that's going to be interesting to see where Sunny's going to push from. Certainly, again, Touchy on the Ayana as well. That's a lot of intel to be brought to the table by ARIZING. Also, the defending lineup here from Turtle, like, it's a really good one. It's very standard by the book, and this is like what I was talking about. When it comes to these standard maps, you want to be taking a relatively standard lineup. Okay, what do we need? We need to prevent that hard breach from opening the wall. We need shields. We need, ADSs. We need intel. The nice touch here is the Aruni gates. I am curious to see where they are going to get placed. And how they're going to be used. What it sounds like is that they're barricading white stairs, and that a Selma gate is going Rudy gate is going above it, and that's going to not only prevent a line of sight, but when it is eventually broken, you can kind of pull back a little bit and not immediately peek it, and they have to then waste utility or risk getting some damage to them. So nice little bit of intel to add to that lineup, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like this knock. That's going to be White Stairs push, 100%. But no, Sunny's going to prove me wrong, actually, and have that presence towards Trophy. The Thatcher's really going to speed things up. I really don't expect to see any kind of variant of the 20-second meta, because, well, with that Thatcher on the board, you can hear that breach getting opened up right away, and ARIZING, they haven't even seen a single defender yet.
No, and again, they are playing it very, very close to sight, bar, Nadi on the roam there as the Aruni, but they're not really pushing there. So I'm curious to see if Nadi's actually going to push to front lobby. And here we go. The EMP is being used to get rid of those, the Aruni gates, and I think that's a really good idea. But ooh, distracted cooking that nade, and Lisa's going to take down Sunny as the opening pick for this game, McCready.
Yes, the knock being taken away, but Thatcher's still on the board, so you still have at least one EMP and a couple of drones to use as well, WChammer. Making sure that's a little quirky there, you won't be able to get it, but Lisa's still holding this angle. Because of that, well, these ADSs, they're going to protect you, and you still don't have to worry about Trophy. Asagi will take some damage from that big window as Widow wants to apply that pressure, but a minute 20 and Turtle, they're doing exactly that. They're turtling. They have the vertical play, they have a lot of map control, and they're just waiting, because ARIZING need to come to them. Any aggressive push that they wanted has kind of stalled out at this point. And, well, what else are they going to do? Well, you're going to have Emily just going down to Zulu, realizing there might be that vertical play. Oh, the Aruni rotates are there. There probably is somebody there. A Claymore, or at least taking the gunfight, can really open things up. You're going to run in, you're going to spot the player, but you're not going to land those gunshots just yet. And suddenly, 40 seconds left, and your Thatcher has just got distracted. ARIZING, they're going to have to start thinking about this push, and Emily taking a lot of damage is going to detract the attention from the big window, but not a single frag in favor of the attackers, and they're going to have to push in very, very soon. Asagi on that double bunk. She's going to make sure that this is a very difficult push, and The Surya gate goes back up, and all you can say is, ARIZING, what's on the cards? You burn it out, but Emily gets taken down, the plant starts to go down, and you have got some cover and control of it, but the vertical plate is there. You can play for refrags. Lisa takes some damage. C4 stops the plant going down. Widow finds Asagi. Natty pushes through, and now it's all down to Tucci on the window, and you just can't make it happen. Turtle, a very nice round to start things off.
Yeah, certainly. Preventing that plant, really nice C4 coming through and then cleaning it up with some kills, leaving Tucci at a very significant disadvantage. Had to get the diffuser, but was, well, between a significant amount of guns from getting there. So really well played there by Turtle Esports, certainly.
Yeah, I feel like that's quite a few guns watching over it is definitely a really good way to describe it. Now, moving down to Laundry Room, that pulse has just been teased out. Switch for a Jaeger by Kayla, and now for a Valkyrie, or a Vigil, we're not really sure, we'll wait on that, but the Flores is coming through. And when you look at the lineup of Turtle, and you think, okay, we're going to Laundry, maybe that makes a lot of sense. You get a Thatcher, you get that Flores drone in, and you do a lot of that damage. But honestly, Grace, what are you expecting to see from this site?
I mean, typically, people go for that really strong elbow hold, and if that's not there, you're basically giving away blue and pillars for free. So we are going to see, as we see, CC making that rotation there. We're going to see a shield there, ADSs. Curious to see where these Goyo shields are going to go as well. So obviously there's a number of things you can do. Like you can have one in Laundry, and then have a nice line of sight into Freezer. You can even use them in Freezer themselves to hold back even more. A little bit of extra coverage there. So that's where I am expecting these shields to go down. We're actually seeing the Smoke use their shield in Laundry, so we're seeing Goyo's shield getting used in Elbow, which normally I'd say that's a little bit risky biscuits, but we are seeing the ADSs. So that's going to protect it a little bit, but I'm curious, depending on who's going to be holding this and how quickly they can fall back. Should a ton. I mean, there we go. There's a Flores drone coming through already to blow up that shield. So don't need no ADS here. We're just gonna send in a explosive drone. So really good use of utility there by ARIZING.
Yeah, my first thought though, where was that mute jammer? Obviously, Sonny's gonna spot one on the wall, but that mute jammer could have slowed down everything. Not a single EMP, not a single piece of utility other than that Reterra was needed for that shield. And now Turtle have had to pull back. That blue bunker control just got a lot easier to get for the attackers, who are now in meeting as well. They're going to start getting these drones out, get the flank cameras, get the hatch open, and start getting a lot of early control over this site.
And again, I can't believe that, like, how powerful that explosive drone was. But the interesting thing is the main thing here that is going to prove difficult is those Aruni gates, because again, it's like, yes, we can send that drone and clear some utility and get some intel, but if those Aruni gates weren't there, then blue would be taken already, and potentially pillars as well, if I do so boldly say. So that's some really good utility placement by Turtle Esports.
Yes, Sayu is able to pick up a kill on pillars, will now be pushed back, but the Goyo Shield's going to do exactly what it needs to do. Natty's going to be able to find a kill onto Amy as well, and now Habana's gone. The top of your push has just been stalled out. They've lost the Habana. A minute 15 left on the clock. If you want to have that double push a lot of teams opt for, you need to start stepping up. Sonny's wasted a lot of time, and immediately Grace, like you said, presented with another issue. Another Surya gate, as the smoke canisters will start to come down ARIZING. They're not feeling very comfortable. They're waiting, they're holding. Tucci's able to find a kill onto Asagi. Didn't need to peek that, but you still have that player advantage. Why not? 50 seconds left in the push. It's going to start coming through soon. But these smoke canisters, they're just going to burn time. They're going to waste it. That's all they need. They just need to put ARIZING in a difficult position. Now, ARIZING, they have no option. They open the single panel, and I think, how do we push through? The crossfire's still going to be there from the defenders. Sonny's just going to push it to the smoke. Try and takes the gunfight. Isn't able to win it out. Widow gets downed as well. And Tucci, stuck on pillar, tries to find CC, does some damage. Cannot find Kyla. And suddenly is all alone and will be taken away in Turtle. A very comfortable second round.
Yeah, a really strong defense from Turtle so far. Very, very strong indeed. And again, this utility use is really doing them favors, because I think there's just not enough utility on the attack to push those choke points, really. for what they need. Again, maybe a little bit of EMP action was needed around the blue area. Again, the Flora's drone works so well on clearing elbow, though, that if they did have the Thatcher Bear with the EMPs clearing those Saria gates, it would have been probably a completely different story. They would have absolutely stampeded, through blue into pillars, into sight. Jobs are good, but I think it's just placement of where people are pushing together and things like that, and staying alive in some parts as well. But
I have a suggestion, Chris. It's very situational, but I feel when we're going up towards meeting and you have those players towards bunker, that elbow is dealt with. Do you think maybe we could have seen ARIZING better off if they had that hard breacher watch these flank cameras for meeting?
I mean, ideally, you always want someone to be on the flank cams at all times anyway, regardless of which role or operator it is. So, again, it's something that teams, like 99% of teams need to work on. I'm not gonna lie, like, I think, people often forget about those flanky cams, but it's just nature of the beast, really, with stuff like that. But I get your point, but it's one of them, isn't it?
Ideal world, I suppose.
In an ideal world, everyone will be flanks are taken care of, map control snuffled up quickly, execute, collapse, perfect. Gorgeous, excellent, love it, and everything's fine.
Asagi. Asagi not looking up, could have stopped that wall from getting opened up, actually. Will be pushed out of her position now and has to pull back. Now, this is the super sub I was talking about. Good friend of mine. Done quite a bit of casting with her so far, but right now she's looking to make her debut as a player. We'll have to pull back for this moment. This isn't the clip to do it, and with that wall open, a lot of opportunities do present themselves. But not all of them will be favorable. ARIZING, they have control of that 90 window, looking towards CC. The Turtles still have control of that kid's area. CC takes some damage, but those ADSs make sure it doesn't get close enough to do any killing blows. But Sunny has got in, pushed all the way up above. Tucci's able to find the kill onto CC, and suddenly Showers has opened up.
Yeah, and Showers control, so important for pushing this site. And again, I think I've said so many times in the past, like, I really dislike this site over the meeting kitchen one. I really do. It's just so much control is given away for free, pretty much. We're basically just giving them small tower because that is so hard to hold or even use utility in. There's very little point. And as soon as Showers corridor and Showers is taken, it's just very difficult to take it back, and it's just giving such a big opening for them to get the plant down 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, now, the plant is going to get denied there by Natty. Sunny holding that white, probably going to get a bit of a yelling in the call, but, well, what can you do now? Somebody needs to go and get that diffuser. Asagi will hold the angle, make sure that Sunny can't push forward, but the plant is going down thanks to Widow. The Yokai is there to stop it and will be successful. The EMP goes down, but Lisa's out of the range. You're going to stop that plank going down again. Sunny will fall to Asagi in a 3 versus 3, but look at this. The Yokai usage is just criminal. Natty's there to try and capitalize upon it. Will find Widow. And that plant is stuck in no man's land. Lisa able to find a frag onto Tucci. Amy gets a refrag, but is left in a 1 versus 2. Turtle playing very tight together, holding these crossfires, these important angles, and Amy isn't going to check one of them. Asagi will find that final kill, and Turtle not really sweating anything at all. Just winning these rounds off gunfights and refrags.
No, and again, it's always very impressive to me when teams are, they're able to hold their own on that site in particular. Again, I really just think that Meeting Kitchen is so much easier to hold. You don't even 9 out of 10 they can't even get the rear stage wall open if you're holding attic well enough. But it's just we saw how quickly ARIZING opened up that dining wall. It then just the yokai work though. The yokai work, McCready. Like that
beautiful.
That entire round was won because of the yokai. Like, no cap. That is unfortunate. Again, the EMP coming out, but not knowing the exact positioning, and it was just a bit too far. And just free drones, actually, you know, free bursts came out. And then, you know, Turtle got a bit more aggressive with it and actually went for the kills. And I think fair enough, you know, fair play.
ARIZING banned out the Maestro, so you'd expect that the Echo to be brought out instead. And, well, Grace, they aren't invisible anymore. That was very easily countable with just one bullet. Suddenly that information's gone. As soon as you try going for the plant again, well, Natty doesn't have that information to get the kill. They don't know you're planting. For all she knows, you're holding that angle. That round was, I agree completely, 100% won by the Yokai. Turtle, though, we're returning to the first round that they won, the Kids and Dorms. They had a very nice hold here, but Asagi's going to be getting a run out, get that Valkyrie camera out there, get as much information quickly as soon as possible.
Yeah, and again, beautiful use of intel, and it's the same lineup they brought last time they were here, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it, to be honest. You know, they've already got 3 rounds in the bag. There's minimal changes they really need to make.
There we go. Got it in the end.
But again, this is the interesting thing. So there's so much control being just given to ARIZING here by Turtle. I find it more fun when people try and hold Big Tower, or they have someone lurking in the basement to sneak up on the people trying to push attic. Like, that always makes me, you know, it makes me excited, it keeps me entertained. But
I'll tell you my favorite hold that I saw the Makers Academy team do in ESA. They stuck Apex, a really talented mechanical player, up in rafters. They reinforced one half of the wall, had a rotate. Apex will get 2 kills off a spawn peek and just run backwards. But Sunny's looking to get that very first one and will be able to do that onto Nadi. That downstairs pressure we saw before just taken away immediately.
Yeah, that Jackal's kind of really coming in top there, being able to get the intel quickly. I think this is the thing too. I think they're realizing, yes, maybe the extra intel will benefit us right now. Because then if we know what the players are, we can focus more on where that utility is. Widow going to take the pick onto Mad Kyler, however. So again, whittling down these players of Turtle, but Lisa's going to retaliate, taking down Widow, and a second one onto Amy, in fact, McCready.
Yes, taking that second one, 1 HP and a dream, but the aim is there to back it up. Right now, ARIZING, they're in a good position to look for a plant, but it's not set there. Turtle still have a lot of these power positions. They have that top white stairs. Asagi is going for the peak, though. Does quite a bit of damage to Sunny, but doesn't get the kill. You might not need to, though. That's not the important part about this. That crossfire of Lisa and CC needs to stay there. That's why Sunny coming along to try and help out, because Emily and Tushi, they both know they can't push through just yet. They have to wait. A C4 is ripped and ready to go in 40 seconds. Race every second counts at this moment. And now CC's waiting for the drop. She is a C4 as well as all 3 defenders on the board. 30 seconds left. The first smoke will go down. Tushi will find that first kill onto Lisa. But CC's right there with the C4. The pool table will be there for Amy Lee. Doesn't go there. Why? What's the point? Will get downed. You stay on that pool table as Asagi tries to find another kill. CC just wants to collect on a debt. That's hers. Turtle right now, 10 seconds left. They have a lot of power, but they don't have everything they need. The plant's going down, and Asagi needs to stop it very quickly. Will push through, spots that diffuser, but doesn't realize it. Finishes that first kill, able to find a second. You just need to find a third. Tushi is waiting, holding that crossfire, and will shut down that round and give ARIZING their first attacking win.
Yeah, and this is exactly how people should be thinking about holding things like that post-plant. Just go out the window, rappel upside down. Like, it's such an easy way to deal with things. Really well played by ARIZING there. A little bit messy in parts, but, you know, getting around on the board is good going.
Yeah, I mean, professional analysis here, Grace. Big numbers, big wins.
Well, you know, it's really interesting that they they went for the attic push this time, and that certainly benefited them. They snuffled up like 3 kills in a row, and once they had that advantage in terms of like player count, it just kind of became so much easier from then on. I will say that, you know, Turtle choosing to utilize those C4s instead of pushing, absolutely the call to make, and you know they could have had it in the bag then. They could have had it in the bag, but ARIZING managing to clutch that out. Really well played indeed.
Yeah, I like the adaptation. Like you said, they realized in the first round that a lot of their problems stemmed from Lisa just being left untouched. So they pushed Attic and then added that into their normal strat. They dealt with the downstairs play. I want to see how Turtle responds to this. Does Natty play down below? Does Lisa adapt where she's playing? Does she try something else? Does she do the exact same thing? We can already see that Malus is being brought instead of Valkyrie on Asagi. What's the thought process behind that?
I mean, again, those Banshees are so powerful. They not only give you the nice audio alert that your enemy is approaching, it gives them a little bit of a slow, a little bit of a distraction. It prevents the other player from hearing you as well. Sound is so important in this game. And I think everyone can remember when Malusi came out, how infuriating it was to deal with. It was like, what on earth is this? Why am I getting just wub-wubbed? Again, I'm curious to see where these placements are. I haven't quite actually managed to clock, sorry, because my feed was going a bit squiffy then, but I am assuming that there would be at least one in Attic, one around the trophy games area. The third one, at their own discretion, presumably White Stairs.
Yeah. You like to think that they'd be in those general positions, because, well, Oregon, this site, it's very, very renowned for funneling through a lot of these problem areas if you can't get your hard breach done. Sunny is going to be on the big window, applying that first bit of pressure, maybe trying to bait that player down below, that in this case is Asagi as well as Nutty, but Attic, that's still going to feel the pressure. Widow is going to try and clear it up so you can do what worked. The Flores drone goes in, finds a utility, and hopefully gets that Kate Electroclaw off the wall, which it will. And suddenly that Master Breach just opened up.
Yeah, indeed. And I think this is I haven't actually properly seen Flores get played yet, so this is really nice to see. Just how impactful it actually is at clearing a lot of this utility. So that's quite exciting for me to see.
Oil shields, more like gone shields at this point. We're looking at both of them being taken away, and Lisa doesn't have those shields to play behind and play safe with. So Emily suddenly has a lot more pressure to apply to the side. But right now, we're hearing one Surrogate being taken off the board, but there's still a lot of utility to be cleared, and this roam game definitely there that you need to worry about. Emily will get down by the breach. C4 could finish her off, but that's not really the point. Lisa's going to be taken down by Sunny, and that's going to be a player advantage in favor of ARIZING, but they need to capitalize upon it. Tushi wants to do exactly that, does some damage to Kyla, but doesn't find the kill. We'll be looking for that revive instead, and that makes a lot of sense. 40 seconds left. What's really on the board for these players?
I mean, for the side of Turtle, I'd say they just need to hold angles and play it safe. Again, like, I sound like a broken record when I say this a lot of the time, but, if it ain't broke, don't fix it with things like that. It's a good oldie, but for a reason. You don't want to get too aggressive. Again, they've still got one C4 in pocket that can be utilized from below. But Plant is actually going down. Amy Lee is going to stick that diffuser, and I think the defenders are aware, so will madly trying to rush back to site, but the diffuser has been planted. They're going to pick up Tucci and Sunny, but it is a 2v3 situation, McCready.
Yes, it is. Emily realizes that White Stairs is a big issue, but with the HP where it is, you have to play it very passively. Amy backed up, just said, I don't really want to deal with this. You realize while Rooney's making a rotate, there's a reason. Someone's coming through it, and you look away at the wrong moment. Amy's able to find a kill to get Mad Kyla, but Nadi's there with the trade, and well, it's a 2 versus 1 with a post plant. Right now, it's Sagi and Nadi. They just need to find one kill. Amy's gonna make sure that they can't do it. Nadi needs to get this frag and get on the diffuser, but time is too late. You get the down. You're not going to get the defuse. Well played to ARIZING. They will pick up another attacking round on the same site.
Yeah, and again there, Amy, absolutely right call. Just pull back. The time is once the plant is down, I often say time is the 6th defender. As soon as plant is down, time is the 6th attacker. If you pull back and you make them chase you like that, which is what happened, even if they kill you, even if they down you, they are not going to make it back to that diffuser in time if you play it right. And that is exactly what happened. Well played, ARIZING.
Completely. And Turtle, they realize,
this is a really good game, genuinely.
It is, yeah.
Stoked. I think this is... Oof.
Yeah,
oof.
I'm really enjoying it.
Oof, 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 oof.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's again, we did say before, they're these classic maps that are I think some people feel they're a bit boring now, but this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to see these standard approaches, these standard pushes, and then it does just come down to who is the best at taking those steps, who is the best with that mechanical skill.
Yeah, I feel like that's something we're going to see a lot on Clubhouse if we do go there. But I feel Turtle, they've had really good defensive setups, but the big problem is ARIZING's adaptation. They're realizing these problem areas, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. And again, it's there are veterans on that team who know certainly they know when to pull back. And I've said this a few times this evening. It's things like that that are so important. Especially when it's either on defense, you're trying to prevent them from getting the plant, or on attack if you've got the plant down. Being passive sometimes is actually the best way, and I think the more players learn that, the better. Because I think some people just go a little bit too gung-ho with it sometimes, and it can be a little bit risky biscuits. But I love the fact that Widow is changing to 0 as well. And, you know, we're seeing the 0 action on this map because, one, the secondary hard breach, so even if, you know, your hard breaches go down, you've got that extra utility in pocket just in case those C4s come through, which we have seen them come through from Turtle. And even here, we're seeing it on Security Hatch, which, fair enough, I think that's a good use for it. You're going to apply that extra pressure from Freezer, presumably. You know, pressure Blue, pressure Pillars, pressure Freezer. It's a standard take, but they're doing it very effectively thus far.
And I feel like that 0, it addresses one of the other issues we saw on the last time we were on this site of there wasn't really any flank watch. There wasn't that much at the moment, and now Nutty is trying to get a gunfight. And I feel like there's a few things to unpack right now. Sunny had to walk outside of this attic area. There's a very important reason for that, Grace. She didn't have the shotgun that comes with Jackal. She will get a Jackal scan and start moving down launcher, but I don't think they've realized Natty has gone for this flank. We talked a lot in that last game about the roamers and the roam clearance and the roam presence and how important that is, and you're about to get a masterclass in why.
I mean, I'm slightly concerned by the face checking we were seeing. That was a little bit of a worrisome moment, especially considering how many drones are in pocket we're seeing. But again, that's potentially going to bite them in the butt, because if there was a flank drone right now, they would be aware of Natty sneaking up on them.
Oh, the Jackal scan's coming in, and suddenly Natty decides to walk away. I wonder exactly why. A minute on the clock, though, and we've yet to see a single player in this lobby. For that only means one thing. We're going to have a very frag-heavy end of round. Nutty not realizing Widow was coming up behind, able to collect upon that kill, and now you have a player advantage. You don't have to worry about the roamers, and this push, this execute, it can start coming through. The Soggy's able to even things up while this Freezer will start to open. But Amy's looking at this and saying, well, I can easily mess this breach up. I need to be very, very careful. 30 seconds left. That's not time you have. You need to start pushing. You need to start taking these gunfights. The Goyo shields of Lisa are still there. The smoke canisters still on the board. And now Widow pushes Freezer, spots a player, can maybe get the shot to the feet, but you can't be looking for kills like those. You need to be taking the gunfights. Time ticking down really to a desperate point here for ARIZING. They need to move in. Amy Lee gonna be the player to do that. CT finds a refrag. Kyla finding 2. It's all down to Tushi. You've got to push in. You will find Kyla, but the defuse is way too far away. You've wasted too much time. Turtle on their second bottom floor defense will win it.
Yeah, and you know, to be fair, a 4-2 half of them, that's really good going. I think if I was them, I'd be feeling really happy about that. I'd be feeling really confident. The only thing now that I will say is a bit, probably their biggest challenge that they have to come against now is that they are obviously going on that attack. And if ARIZING are playing this relatively by the book, this could be a little bit rocky for them. This could be a little bit rocky. Again, we've seen very clearly both teams know when to be patient with it. And that's certainly going to come through now. And wow, that is interesting. Okay, we're seeing the Thinker come through here, McCready. Wondering if that is actually going to be a stick. No, it's not. Okay, they're going to stick to Sophia. That could have been nice. That could have been nice. I was curious where they were going to go with that. I was like, are we going to see some next level aggressive push come through? Is that why we're seeing the Thinker? But no, they have 6 back onto the Zofia. So yeah, a lot more standard. But again, speaking of standard, here we are, standard elbow hold. We've got the smoke, probably still going to go down. ADSs. Going to see a bit of cheeky Melusi action in blue as well. Yeah, it's been quite interesting.
Grace.
Yes?
One of the things I've been constantly talking about, it feels like, broken record for myself, is the adaptation of ARIZING's been really good. On the attack, hasn't really translated into much success outside that kid's dorms. But on the defense, it has a lot more potential, doesn't it? Because you look, you can see what the turtle attack strat is. A lot of teams, especially at this level, might not have that many prepared. And an interesting thing is Turtle are bringing the Maverick, and they're not bringing a Thatcher.
Yeah, and again, that indicates to me that they are just playing this exactly how they scrim it. So, you know, who cares about the bans? We're taking that Maverick because we've gotten so used to Thatcher being banned out that we're taking it anyway. And I really like that. They're not trying to mix it up. They're just doing what they are trusting in themselves to be like, this is our strategy and we're sticking to it. And I think if they're going in that confident, then this should be good for them. This should be good. They should know how to approach it. As we see, this drone work coming out, they are knowing exactly what they're going to come up against and knowing what barricades are there. Now they know what they're going up against. Drones for days coming through here. Like it's good. It's promising.
Yeah, a very coordinated Turtle to start things off, but well, you know, first contact makes plans go awry, and that might be the case right now if Kyla can't land these shots. We'll do a little bit of damage to herself. She stays alive. Has some frag grenade support coming out from Asagi or Winter if you've watched the ESA casts, T4 League. Widow's going to be taken down when meeting though, and suddenly Natty's going to have free reign with this meeting hatch to apply another lot of pressure. Right now, Turtle, they have a lot of pieces in play. The question is, can they collapse?
I mean, yeah, can they collapse indeed? Because it's, yeah, they're getting the control in the bag. They're pushing through Freezer very well. They're using the Flores here, which is quite interesting. That's adding an extra, not only widening that line of sight, but it gives them an extra rotation to use, but also on the flip side of that, McCready, it's an extra rotation that can be utilized against them.
Yeah. I mean, if we wanted to see Emily get really aggressive, she might come through that whole pre-firing shooting. They go both ways, which is the point of what you're saying. Elisa hasn't even found Emily, neither has CC, so they're going to start pushing forward, not aware of this cake. This means they're going to have to check their corners, and while Amy will take a little bit of damage, Michaela's going to try and give a little in return. Not going to happen just yet, but Turtle yet to lose a player. The question is, well, what are the rest of the players doing? They're probably moving towards that north stairs, which is the case for Turtle Esports. They're moving to put this pressure on. Emily will punish Lisa, even though she does check the corner. Natty's able to find a second kill, but now Kyla wants that refrag. You're not able to land these shots. He'll need a second attempt, and you will get it. Now a 2 versus 4. The scoreline reflecting the player count. But ARIZING, a really good position. Kyla's going to take it away, as will Natty. Really just stepping up. A 3k for Natty and a 2k for Kyla.
Yeah, and again, this map's looking really, really strong for Turtle, genuinely.
Yes,
and you know,
it is completely.
They didn't go for a standard push, and I think perhaps they became aware. Again, that drone work was really, really nice and was really on point. And I think they probably thought, okay, they've done a setup here where it's very standard, but also the utility is mostly positioned to protect that kind of, you know, frontal and then also blue pillars push. There is a little bit of a weakness here if we decide to push for Flores actually through laundry, and that did work really well for them. Genuinely, it really did, and I think that all they needed to do, which is what we saw, was get a little bit aggressive towards the end, and it worked perfectly for them.
Speaking of things that haven't worked perfectly, though, for Turtle to push us onto match point, they're going to need to win this next defensive round. And that is kids' dorms. Personally, I want to see Turtle going towards kitchen dining or kitchen meeting, trying out tertiary site, because ARIZING, they've played it really well on this site. But the question is, can they keep that going? I mean, attacking a site is one thing, defending it is another. Turtle, they have a lot of tools in place. Like we said, they can ignore their stature ban. They don't need to worry about it because you have got your Buck, your Sophia. You can deal with the utility, and you got a Maverick for Big Tower. In any case, these walls are getting opened, and ARIZING don't really have a way other than their guns and maybe a spawn peak to stop them. Starting to go do some damage to Asagi, but will not be landing that killing blow, just putting a nice little investment in the bank for later.
Yeah, certainly, and you know, I rate that. I rate that.
It's the bright side of things. Silver linings, Grace. You know, you didn't get a kill, but you helped someone else get a kill.
You know, we didn't even see them go for a spawn peak, like, you know, the last few defensive rounds, so I feel like at some point you gotta try it.
Yeah.
And I respect it, But, you know, they were ready and waiting for it, and ultimately, I think it is right that, you know, Sunny decided to pull back a little bit.
Yeah. You didn't get damaged at all. That's perfectly fine. Emily's gonna be able to find a kill onto Kyla. Now Widow's gonna be looking for another one. Finds Lisa, gets the air jab, blowing you back, but you've already found the kill. Just walk backwards. Perfectly fine. Big problem though for on this side of ARIZING is now Asagi can move into this kitchen area. Might not be aware of a player playing nearby. That is Sunny. But you can still put that vertical pressure on. You can exert a lot of power here if you focus on the vertical play, but there's one big problem. You're going to expose yourself to Sunny. Here's that drone going down, does damage, but doesn't find the kill. We'll just have to back away, and seems like the curse of Sunny at this point. I mean, you're going to do some damage to Asagi, you're not going to find the kill. So what you're going to do is you're going to call for your Aruni to walk around, pop the hatch. Natty, though, is going to be leading this charge, looking to do something, but it's already too late. Sunny's dropped, and this roam play from ARIZING, very, very good.
Yeah, certainly, it really is. And again, it's, you could say it's a 3v5, but Asagi is on such little health that, you know, a tickle to knock her over. But they are going to start opening up this wall into games now. You know, we're seeing the verticality come through to put extra pressure onto the defenders. So I think Turtle are still giving their all. And I think this is why, again, it's very obvious to me how well scrimmed they are.
I want to remind you of something. Asagi's a sub, and she is currently
Fitting in well.
Second highest kill in the team, and third in the lobby so far. Only Tucci's really matching up, and 30 seconds ticking by, and yeah, I got to agree, Turtle have been looking very, very well regimented. They might be having a few bumps in the road, but Natty is able to have a little bit of retrospective, able to find one, make that two possible problems. Frag Grenade could probably clear out that attic player, but the flashbang is going to make sure nothing's going to happen for a bit. Asagi not feeling too hot on that one, but the push is coming through. Nadi has to get aggressive and will be able to find a kill. Widow's able to get one, make that two. It's all down to Nadi actually finding one, make that three. There's only one player left on the flank, but they have the diffuser ARIZING. You nearly lost it all, but the flank from Widow won it out.
Yeah, powerful. Very powerful. And again, just to reiterate, once again, not pushing towards the end. Just being like, oh my god, time is in our favor. Let's just stay back and hide for a bit. By the skin of their teeth, McCready. The skin of their teeth. But another round in the bag nonetheless.
Right, I'm going to fill in... I know Fraser has had to go, but I'm going to make it feel like he's still here and use a food analogy. Essentially, the game that ARIZING just played at that end round can be summed up very simply with, you're breaking a few eggs to make an omelette. You let them push in, but you got the diffuser.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm being blacklisted for that one.
I'm
on the no-pass list with Grace.
I mean, no, it's
Fraser's had worse.
It's I don't know.
He's made worse jokes in this stream, I'd imagine, so I'll, Your head held high, what can you do? ARIZING, they're going to return to this bottom floor because they don't really have a choice. I mean, like I said, kitchen dining or kitchen meeting is still on the board, but you've only given this site one go, haven't you, Grace? If you are ARIZING, of course.
And,
are you ARIZING? Are you all 5 players?
I am all 5 players of ARIZING inside one body. You know, like the Power Rangers when they get inside the mech?
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
I'm literally all of ARIZING right now. They're all inside my head, pressing levers.
God, that is a fearsome play, and that's why you're casting. Too dangerous to be let in the lobby. But right now, Turtle, they're going to start off the exact same way we saw before. A good, coordinated, structured roam clear.
Yeah, and again, I really want to send this point home. Both these teams are approaching these maps very, very well, and it's so standard by the book, but I love it. And again, broken record, but I really, in my heart of hearts, I love it when players do the goodness, when they play it by the book, when they're just gonna be good eggs and just not try anything fluffy or overly fancy, or it shows they know what they need to do, essentially.
Oh, Natty coming up on the flank. I think Tucci knows. Tucci's aware. Definitely will be after hearing that grenade right now, and it will go out, do half damage. They don't find a kill, and that's the important part, because look at the setup ARIZING have got. They realized that vertical play was a big issue for them, and they lost it very early on. So this is a counter to that. And Tucci's just going to walk down. You walk backwards, you feel pressure up top, you drop down. Feel pressure below, you go up and play your life. That's not going to be an option for Tucci, though. They're going to be taken away by Natty, who's just going to walk forward. A refrag will come through from Sunny over towards Freezer. And a 4 versus 4 race at this point.
Yeah, and again, it's becoming very even Stevens between these two teams. And I expect that on a standard map. And, you know, a lot of, I was going to say a lot of control could be taken, but Widow just cleaning up there. 2K onto CC and Asagi. Asagi just very unaware of her positioning then. Wow.
Oh, no.
Get that lunch.
That is heartbreaking right there. Widow getting misdrowned by Generator, and now, well, it's a 2 versus 4. The rest of Turtle, they have to realize, well, what can you do? You can get a forest drone down there and get that barricade sorted, taken away, but, well, now they know exactly where you're coming from. The proximity mine will give away that information. The smoke canister goes through, and you're clearing out a lot of this utility, but it feels like it should have been done earlier. The smoke canisters, they're going to keep applying the pressure while that laundry rotate will come through. They can't see anything through this new smoke. They're trying to find something, but the time is being wasted to a point where you are going to have to push through. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in a 0-second scenario right now. You're not even going to get that. Widow cleaning up a 4K, a dominant performance, and a well-deserved victory for ARIZING. Grace, you said they were full of gunners, and Widow is certainly delivering.
Oh yeah, 100%. Absolutely cleaned up that round. Again, though, some of the comms and Turtle, I would assume then, were a little bit squiffy, because that call of Widow, there we go, gets a kill to CC, but there's no immediate reaction, and I think, yeah, Asagi just falls unknown of the positioning, and it's unfortunate, but for Widow, it's great. Absolutely snuffled up those kills that round. And the thing is, I want to point out as well, like, there was really good teamwork there on the side of Turtle, you know, 2vx situation. They know they're at a player disadvantage, but they are still working together so well. The Flores, drones coming out, immediately blowing up the barricade, so the peak could come through, and then more drones coming through to clear more utility, maybe also as a bit of a distraction as well. It was really good. It is, again, it's really nice to see teams that are strong enough to actually work together like that. So I think that they did their best despite the situation, but ultimately ARIZING just absolutely showed up that round.
Yeah, and now we're heading to that kitchen dining. It's something you said you don't really like. You prefer kitchen meeting, but I prefer kitchen dining. I feel like... All right, come on.
Fisticuffs, come on.
This game doesn't matter anymore, because it's going to be Creedy versus Grace, and honestly, that's what everyone's here for, let's be honest.
I think it's 5 bob apiece.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for the crepes as well, Grace.
But,
okay?
the bloody crepes.
Yeah, I mean, someone's going to have them.
Someone's going to end up with some crepes. Widow going for it. Yeah, I was going to say, Widow wants his spawn pick, and again, we're seeing these... This is just like the second or third spawn pick we're seeing ARIZING right now, and it's they're hungry for it. Hungry like the wolf.
I feel like, with a very nice Duran reference there, I do respect that.
Yep.
You're looking at ARIZING, and this might be what they needed. They've been doing that damage, they've been playing more aggressive, and suddenly they've started winning rounds, even when they don't get these kills. It's not necessarily trying a small peak once and not adapting anything. It's a complete shift in the playstyle.
I love the fact that Tucci is on the Clash as well.
Yeah.
Again, it's a site I hate, but I understand how the Clash is going to benefit them now on this site, because if they did pretty much give up small tower for free and that wall did get open, they've got a giant door to deal with. Mad Kayla, however, is going to get the pick onto Widow McCready. How do you like them apples?
I really like them because I want to see Turtle continue this strategic game. Sunny's going to try and make sure that doesn't happen. But a misplaced C4 isn't really going to do that much damage. Rest of ARIZING, they're in a position where they're saying, right, they're not going for mini tower. They're not biting in the same way we did. They want kids, they want vertical. Let's maybe even shift our players towards that small tower and say, this is how we cover a lot of this line of sight. Well, that would work, but the big problem is that kids.
Yeah, the verticality coming through, that's going to apply a lot of extra pressure, even on that kitchen area. So it's interesting that there's no, breach coming through from small tower, because if that had happened, if that wall's open and that verticality started coming through from kitchen, ARIZING would be in such a difficult position. Like, that would be impossible. You'd just have to hold it from the bottom of white stairs, and nobody's got time for that.
Sagi's not going to be happy that we just caught that, but...
Uh-huh.
It's something I have to bully her with later, if she ever tries to bully me for having less than good aim, let's be honest. But right now, ARIZING, they've done exactly what we said. They backed up. They've said, okay, well, we still have a clash. We still have a lot of map control towards small tower. Let's use it. Nadi going to be able to add another kill onto her... I'm going to say the Skull of Thrones at this... Throne of Skulls at this point? Yeah, let's get the words right. But 30 seconds gone. ARIZING have done a really good job wasting time, at least. They've traded bodies for time, and like you say, time is that 6th defender. It does come in a massive way, and we're about to see why. If Sunny can decide that this push needs to come through, well, there it is. A refrag onto Emily is going to be able to find one kill. Tucci goes down. Sunny can't land the shots, and the plan hits the ground. Well, 1 versus 4. You've already found 1 kill. Can you make it 5? Sunny, well, they know exactly where you are. You're gonna have to take these gunfights one-on-one, and Natty, the first very difficult step, you're gonna cross it very comfortably, but quite low HP now. 3 players left. Don't really have the rotator. Sagi, you're gonna be holding that angle, will find the kill. And it took him a couple of rounds to get back into the swing of things, but that is Turtle Esports pushing us to match point. The big problem, though, is, Grace, that was the tertiary bomb site. ARIZING can now go downstairs.
Yeah, which again, I think that's a very strong a hold for them, to be honest, and they can probably push us back to 5-5. Again, just some of these ladies are actually showing up this evening.
Oh, yes.
Like, absolutely. Nadi on a 1.6 KDR right now, which is significant, especially considering that, it's now match point, and you can tell that she's been absolutely putting in work. And again, on the side of, ARIZING, we've seen them absolutely just pop off at points, especially, with Widow, a few rounds back, and it's just so nice to see. Like, they're both playing this so well, and again, I really am expecting ARIZING to try and pull this up to 6-5, but only time can tell.
I can see it happening, and I feel one of the big things that have given ARIZING a couple of these rounds is the roamers. In the last couple of rounds, these roamers have had a lot of freedom of movement, a lot of control over the map. I want to shout out Sunny. Last time we were on this site, well, Asagi was Buck playing in kitchen, a really powerful position that Sunny was able to take away very easily because she put that pressure on. That's why Asagi's actually switched over towards the Jackal. You suddenly need to worry about these roamers because they are having that much of an impact, and I feel like that's a really good endorsement for the ARIZING roam game. I want to see it have more impact. I want to see this go to overtime. I want to see all 3 maps, even if it is CAF and Club.
I love that, even if it's cafe and club.
Well, let's be honest, Grace. We've seen them about 1 million times.
Yeah, it's the standards, the golden oldies. But I don't know. This is something about the standard approaches that just really gets me.
You're an absolute fiend for the
I am. Like, it's just traditional and
structure.
nice and structured, and it's just like nom 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 nom. Twitchy, speaking of nom 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 nom, is gonna start numbing up those kills, taking down Nadi. Lisa's gonna retaliate, however, by taking down Sunny.
Yeah, but you've just lost Natty, one of the big heavy hitters in this lobby, if even the biggest. Widow definitely stepping up in a massive way as well, but for the side of Turtle, it's a lot more spread out. You don't have that standout player. You're gonna have to make one very, very soon. And Asagi, putting yourself on big window, there's the bullet holes prepped for it, and it's very difficult for you to counter that. I'm assuming ARIZING do want to peek this. 4 versus 4, why would they? They're focusing on trophy. This is the big position to hold, and Widow is going to walk away scot-free. That is something that Turtle can't really allow.
Yeah, certainly. And a little bit of patience here. I think they're quite collecting a little bit of intel themselves. We're seeing some things that can't help near things so that drone come through.
Oh.
But it hasn't quite hit anything. And again, a bit of a standstill there. They need that intel, but they can't quite get it. They need to work around that utility that ARIZING have brought to the table. Widow waiting patiently, ready to swing out into this trophy area for anyone that might be pushing from that armory stairs area. Which, as it looks, Eliza making her approach up here. This could get nasty very, very quickly, McCready.
Yes, you've got to be very, very quick on the trigger if you want to win this gunfight. Widow, she's proven she's lethal. She's deadly. And most importantly, she's smart. She's not running through like this is ranked and sprinting. She's been jackal-tracked. She's holding this position and realizes, well, I'm gonna have to play my life here. Now I'm gonna go for the peak. Now I'm gonna try and do some damage to Kyla. I'm not gonna find the kill. But yet again, I've spoke about it. It's the investment. You're waiting for later, and in 30 seconds, you need literally everything you can get. Asagi will apply pressure to this trophy window, locking Widow in place. But still, a lot of map control that Turtle need and don't have. This could easily be a 6-5 on the execute because time is ticking down. That Master Breach is getting impact tricked with 15 seconds left. What do you have to do? Well, now you have to walk right into Widow's line of sight, and that is deadly. Lee's going to be able to find the first kill, though. Kyla gets a refrag. Tochi on top of that. It's frag after frag. And CC Widow finding kills. Tucci closes it out and takes away Asagi on the plant, and that is going to be it. 6-5, Grace. Huge effort from ARIZING.
Absolutely, 100%. And again, I had a little sneaky feeling this would happen. I had a little feeling they'd be like, okay, no, it's not over just yet. We are going to absolutely fight this tooth and nail and pull it back. This could go to overtime very easily. Again, both these teams playing incredibly well. Super well. Like, it's lovely. Like, it's just lovely. I get really the biggest excitement for me as a caster, and again, I know we were like, oh, Oregon, boring, but it's like the biggest excitement for me as a caster is when teams play it so step by step and by the book, and they play it so properly. Like, it just, because again, so many teams just, it goes out the window with them sometimes. They just forget these basic things. And, ARIZING and Turtle, they're doing it by the book. And it's making me feel very happy and very excited to watch. And again, this is so close and getting evenly matched. But I am obviously still going to try and stick to my guns a bit with my initial prediction because I want those preps. But, Turtle absolutely showing up, ARIZING absolutely showing up. I don't know how this first map's gonna go, that's for sure.
Well, I want to bring us back to those map bans very quickly, and I want to say the fact that, well, now we're looking at this. This is ARIZING's map pick. You'd expect them to be winning it. So, when you go to Kaf Dostoevsky, suddenly, like, a nice little glimmer of hope for them is, say they were to lose Oregon at this point. Well, they're on the defense on Kaf, and Kaf is a map where the defenders do a lot of map control. They do a lot of dictating the pace, the flow, how the round plays out in general. So I feel the winner of this, that Kaf is going to be very influential. It's just a case of who wins this. And I do want to side with you, and I want to say, just like Clubhouse, Oregon is now at the point where it's a map that it's not who has better strats, who does the default strats better. Because too much deviation could really be detrimental, but a little bit, like you're seeing from ARIZING, can really just change the pace. We're seeing them commit a little bit more to that roam game. And suddenly, there's a lot more pressure on Turtle. They're not feeling comfortable. Their attacks are suddenly a bit more unconfident.
Yeah, and the kind of, I would say there's definitely I'd say less opportunities actually. There's less opportunities for probably a counter analysis thus far in CCSW too, because there was like a little bit of a break between the quals and the season starting.
Yeah.
And then again, people with those map picks and the way that the bracket works out, it does give you time to play with, but probably not enough in terms of, okay, this person's played this and this is how they play it and how are we going to counteract that. So it's an interesting one, and I'm wondering how much effort's been put in that regard. But again, the effort mostly has come into these teams are playing it so by the book. There's clear steps there. There's such clear steps. We're seeing really beautiful teamwork. We're seeing really good drone work. We're seeing good comms. Some nutty cleanups.
Oh yes.
Like, yeah, absolutely insane cleanups. And this is the kind of matchup that just gets me pumped. Okay, it just gets me so pumped, so pumped, more than anything. And yeah, exciting stuff.
Now this is very, very off topic, let's be honest, but I feel like I know exactly how you feel, because I typically lean towards play-by-play casting, and for me, seeing a coastline is essentially the same way that you feel right now, because you're looking at this, you're seeing competitive played right, you're seeing it played really well, and it's the same feeling I imagine as myself watching some absolute gunners go up against each other on a map like Coastline. But honestly, they are playing a really tight game. It's very coordinated, very practiced. I mean, this is ARIZING's map pick, but you couldn't really tell. I mean, you look at ARIZING, their setups, their takes, they've been very well performed. They know how to set up. They had adaptation pocket strats ready. But then on the flip side, you look over towards Turtle. Their pushes, their round starts, their holds, very, very well oiled. And they're just two good teams really coming up against each other. And I feel like, going back to what I said at the very start on the host, well, this is easily one of the most balanced weeks we've had. Most balanced play days out of the 3 we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Oh, do you agree with me or not?
No, I was thinking, okay, so out of all of the games we've had so far for our CCSW this season, this is probably shaping up as one of my favorite matchups at the moment. Yeah. Like, and again, if this is anything to go off going forward, things are just going to get way more exciting. And that fills me with like massive energy. Like, I don't know, again, I just think that there's something really special about women's rosters, and I just don't know what it is, but it's so by the book, and it's just like, oh my god, my brain like can't handle it. And it's just gorgeous, and I am very excited for the future of this season, certainly, and whoever wins tonight, bloody hell, both teams have put in a hell of a run, and this is only map number 1.
Yes. I easily see this going all the way to Clubhouse. Now, like you said, it's something you could see on your face. You're excited by this. The prospect I'm very excited by is round 12, and I see overtime definitely on the horizon. We're going down to that bottom floor, and the last time we were there, we've seen a mixed bag of results. We've seen Turtle winning their attack on it, but we've seen ARIZING closing everything down with impeccable roaming.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I just is making me a bit like, okay, we're seeing a little bit of Capcan action.
We've seen quite a bit today, actually.
We have, but this is the thing, because normally if I see teams switch onto a Capcan, it's because they've been like, the droning isn't as strong coming through. There's little intel coming through towards the end of the round. Let's catch them off guard with a few little traps. But from what we've seen of Turtle and their attacks, they actually drone out very, very well. So I am curious to see how those traps are dealt with, and if people are going to be caught off guard by that on the side of Turtle. And if they are, my question then is, why?
I feel with Capcan traps, a big thing for me is, in the same way of Banshees, in the same way of Frost Mats and Goo Mines, it's a case of, you have to interact with them one way or another. Either you trigger them, it does a lot of damage, about 20 HP, against an attacker that 9 times out of 10 is probably going to be your entry. Suddenly that Capcan does a lot of damage, and that investment for later is something we've talked about. ARIZING, with this pick, they're forcing Turtle to either take that damage, or to shoot it out and give away their positioning, which, for these roamers, Be very, very telling. Right now, the Widow, one of the most influential roamers, she's just sitting in kill box. She's saying, well, my talents can probably be used over towards this bunker area for good reason. My Kyla, she's playing, she's drawing a smiley face on the barrels. She's just found an opening kill and taken away the Capcan we're talking about. But with these Capcan traps, while that elbow position's cleared, you now need to worry about one on that blue door, which gives Tucci a lot of time to swing.
Yeah, certainly, and you know, they've cleared that utility around the elbow area. ARIZING have pulled back, they've reinforced that, so now they are kind of giving up this blue area. There is obviously the line of sight from the back pillars through electrical, but you know, a little bit of utility and clever positioning can slightly avoid that. That wall could be opened relatively quickly now by Turtle if they choose to act upon it. And again, this pressure coming through from pillar stairs, certainly doable.
Yeah, Asagi, she's able to get on those little stairs, and she's able to at least open up another front. A lot of teams, they need that pillar control, because otherwise, you're just pushing into a kill box. There's a lot of flanking potential from the defenders, and you cannot allow that to happen, especially with Widow on the board. Elbow's gonna get opened up. Pillar's gonna be droned out. Suddenly, Turtle realize they have a really good amount of map control. But this elbow breach is going to be a little bit difficult. It got Bandit tricked just in the nick of time for Tucci to pull back, and Amy Lee's going to be able to find the kill from Closet. Takes away Kyla, and the chance of opening it up anymore. CC's nowhere nearby, and currently you're looking at Asagi using these Geminis. ARIZING are holding in. They're digging in deep. They're waiting. Look at all these crossfires. That default plant in that default position is just not going to happen. Natty's going to try and change that by finding the kill onto Amy Lee, but there's still two players ready to take that position. CC knows this and is playing it very, very carefully, but with 30 seconds left, you don't really have that option. You're going to have to start getting that plant down. The C4 rip will come out from Tucci. Might be enough to force off the plant. Yes, it is. Lisa gets taken down. The C4 goes and finishes it. Widow finds the head of Natty. It's all down to CC and Asagi. The plant's been stopped because of the smoke. There's 10 seconds left. This is going to overtime unless Asagi can find these two kills. The plant will get stuck down now. Asagi wants to push. She goes through the rotate. She doesn't find the kill onto Tucci, and while the plank goes down, CC gets one, but not the second. We are going to overtime.
Overtime! Oh my goodness gracious me. Map number 1 in overtime. Who is surprised? Nobody. These two teams are absolutely going at it at this point. Oh my goodness, what a exceptionally intense round that was towards the end. I daren't move. Like, you know when you get so, oh my goodness, that you can't move. Oof. What on earth did we witness? That was just an absolute aggressive flurry towards the end. Like, it was so standing coherent, and again, this is what I love to see. It's so standing coherent, and then towards the end, it just gets bloody aggressive. Bloody aggressive. The plant went down, in fact, even. The plant went down. Like, chef's kiss. Perfect from both sides there. Unsurprising, we are going to overtime right now.
Grace, we were talking about the fact that you love Comp Siege played well, and that's exactly what we saw. We saw measured aggression from defenders. We saw attackers realizing a lot of problem areas of what you need. Ultimately, that was just one of my favorite rounds that I've seen casted in quite a while. I have to be honest. ARIZING, really good defense, a well-deserved round, and they're going to have 3 more. They went from 6-4, Grace.
Yeah.
Now we're in overtime.
Exactly, and it's this is exactly it. I think they both these teams are just so hungry for it, and again, obviously last week it was a little bit of a disappointing run for ARIZING, but this is exactly what I mean about this roster. Absolutely able to hold their own. And again,
almost in sync.
Well, this is
sorry,
it. Like,
sorry, carry on.
No, this is it. Like, obviously, you know, so don't get it twisted. Like, that both teams have made a few little mistakes here and there.
Yeah.
But it is excused by the fact of how on the nose they're all playing. Like, it is just good old-fashioned Siege, and this is, again, a pleasure to behold. I just really like it. I like it when people play things properly.
It's the Grace seal of approval.
It is, and it's an actual seal.
And a reminder here, obviously, Grace, you haven't actually seen either of these teams play because last week you had Light Rose in. She was jumping in and covering because you were on a wonderful holiday.
It was a wonderful holiday, yes.
Yeah.
It was
actually interesting point though. Turtle have now decided that they are going to be bringing out that Thatcher for these attacking rounds.
Yeah, and that's again very interesting because obviously they are choosing to do that along with the Maverick and the Habana and the Ace and the Ayana. It's essentially, if I do say so myself, this is a 5-stack support for overtime. Yeah. And you know what? I rate it. Like, why not? Why not take that kind of utility? Why not open all of these obnoxious lines of sight if you can? Like, go for it. Absolutely. Because Attic's already open. Half the round's gone. They opened, Attic a while ago. They're starting to push their way through. Uncontested, it would seem.
Kyla, I'm sorry, Kyla. Part of a bulletproof camera says bulletproof. I just wanted to make that known.
If we're gonna say because she tried to throw a silver at it.
I mean, there's a lot of things to talk about, but I think that's the biggest one I want to address. The bulletproof camera is, shockingly enough, bulletproof, but Asagi's down below. I was able to deal with this room presence that we've seen ARIZING try and utilize before, but that's not a case now. She has complete control of that bottom floor. Oh, from Amy Lee.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, she has complete control.
No.
Very low.
No.
Rudy, and there we go! The kill onto Natty. The kill onto Natty, but now, this is the time for Asagi to react to that. Okay, there's someone on the roam. I need to hunt them down now. I'm in a position to try and find this player and stop them from causing any more damage, any more chaos towards my team.
Yeah, but Amy Lee realizes she needs to cause the chaos. She's going to start that push. Asagi is starting to run around, but all 5 players of ARIZING are up and only 3 of Turtle. Kyla's going to change that and finds the fraggle to Widow, but the plan isn't going down with 3 seconds left. You can't go down now. Amy Lee's able to find a kill. Kyla gets an answer, but ARIZING will take the lead for the first time since round 10. They have just taken the lead and are now on overtime match point, ready to win out their map pick of Oregon, but it requires an attacking round win, something that we've seen to be very difficult for them.
Yes, but even if they lose the attack, they then go back onto defense, and this is why sometimes like overtime can be a little bit of a tricky one, depending on who. Well, firstly, depending on whether the map is defender-sided or not. Because if you start on defense, you're automatically getting an advantage there. At the same time, Turtle could really show up now and just pull it through to that final end and secure this round, this map in the bag. But I don't know. I reckon ARIZING, like the way they played just now, it was, again, we saw them previously where they were going for spawn peaks and things like that, and they were being a bit aggressive with it, and they were being bolshy with it, and that's fine. But then, especially on that last round, it was very like, let's fall back, which they've done. They do so well. They know when to fall back, and absolutely that was the time too, because they were just like, hey, it's overtime now, and we really need to get these rounds in the bag. So I'm gonna be very curious to see how they are gonna attack this and how patient they're going to be with it, how much they're going to take time to drone things out, really know what they're dealing with, and then set up for their push into site and get the plant down.
Yeah, because remember, ARIZING, obviously, as you can see by the scoreboard, they are 1 round away from closing it out. This means they have that buffer time. They have their attacking round to just relax and say, okay, we need to do this by the book, but do not stress, because if we don't, well, we still have that defensive round. We just go downstairs. It's all good in the hood, Grace, basically. But they're going to be moving forward. They're going to find that first position. And let's be honest, Turtle aren't going to try and make this easy. They're not going to let them get this control, and that's been started by Kyla trying to get aggressive now. Utility on Attic has been taken away, so Kyla has to rein it in a little bit. But they know that you're there, they need to drone you out, and they need to use utility to get you out of that position.
Yeah, defo. And this is exactly what I mean. Look, they're taking their time now. They're really using the drone utility. They're finding out what they're dealing with, and that's exactly what I want to see right now. Yeah, what they need to do. They need to be patient with it. They need to play it as safely as they did the last round.
Yes.
And even on the side of Turtle, as I said, the Turtle are probably going to play this just as well. And there we go. Natty signing this off with a nice pick onto Tucci.
Yeah, Sagi's going to be able to take away those Soma charges. Suddenly Lisa moves these Goyo shields, which she's been loving, to face that big window. But, well, Mad Kyler's been taken off the board. That attic suddenly needs another player to come around to it, and that's going to be Lisa diverting her attention. Right now, that hatch being open, it definitely makes it a lot more difficult, but Widow's going to be taking some damage, tries to give a little bit more. CC winning with the shotgun, has the potential to find a kill. Just going to have to wait. That's all you have to do. If you're the defenders, you wait, and ARIZING, well, similar thing. You play it safe. You have the time to drone. You have the utility to use. And most importantly, you now know where CC is. You know there's only one player there. So if you push together, at some point, CC isn't going to be able to refrag. That's why Lisa swings around, able to find a kill until Widow will neuter this push. And Amy, what do? You have to rotate as well, because Amy Lee's pushing up Armory. ARIZING, they're taking their time. They're deciding where they're going to take control from. But it might be too late. 40 seconds to get down on the clock in a 4 versus 3. And Sunny's trying to deal with this roam game. You need to be helping your team push site. You're all split apart. How are you going to move on? Now, Sunny, you're going to try and get that gunfight, but Natty, she's just too good. An incredible amount of kills posted up. Amy Lee will be able to refrag, but now 3 versus 2. Have to push it to site. Amy will get down by the attic player. Amy Lee, you're able to pop on Goyo, but now they know exactly where you are. 12 seconds left on the clock. You push into Trophy, but Asagi's able to push us to round 15 on map 1. Grace.
I love that. Round 15 on the map 1 of this best of 3 between Turtle Esports and ARIZING. It is amazing. And again, overtime match point now. Both teams on 7-7. Whoever wins this is taking this map and the first map of this best of 3.
First map, though. This is the kind of passion you want to see at the end, but, well, Turtle ARIZING, they've really stepped up and just delivered out the get-go.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And this could be an interesting one. I'm wondering if we're going to see any adaptations come through. Not really. Again, safe by the book we're seeing from the defense. And again, safe by the book we're seeing from the attack. Both these teams really want this map. The passion. I really, really, really am expecting probably similar things to what we saw before. A very patient, slow approach. Really making sure, okay, what are we dealing with? The clear's going to come through. And, defense are going to play very passively too. And then that end round, my prediction is, okay, the end round is just going to explode again. And at that point, I really don't know. It's just going to come down to gunfight. Like, honestly.
I hope you're right.
I feel it in my jellies. I feel it in my jellies.
Your jellies?
My jellies.
I'm from Wales, and I don't really know what you mean.
Barada.
Barada Power,
Barada.
That mean them and Hoffy shout Cymraeg.
Something go.
Not right now, maybe later.
Okay. Yes.
But right now, Turtle, they're going to start their droning. They're going to start opening these windows and applying a bit of pressure. They realize they've got to attack. This is a site that they have attacked before and have won. But it's also a site they've attacked and lost before. The roam pressure of, I'm going to say it, Widow and Amy Lee has just been really strong. It's something you need to be ready to deal with. And right now, the flank cams, the claymores, that's going to be it. Personally, I'd want to probably see another zero camera.
Throwing stun grenade.
Yeah. I mean, a zero camera could be useful, but again, I think that they've favored the hard breach and they favored the Flores especially to clear a lot of that utility again. I think that's absolutely on the nose. And
Thatcher's on the board.
yeah, but it's you can't just rely on the Thatcher, and this is what we've seen Turtle do for like a few rounds in their attack, is where they're taking multiples of the same thing just in case, and again it's that playing it safe just in case, and I appreciate it and respect it completely, and I think it is the right thing to do. Slow and steady wins the race.
Well, Tucci not going to be able to get that Rotero drone out of the way, and we'll be able to clear that utility, and Frieza will start to open up. Looking at Turtle, now that those walls are on the board, they don't have anything to open it, but that's not just a bad thing. We talked about it earlier, well, it goes both ways, and Sunny, to take this gunfight, try and find this opening kill, will have to use a drone hole, which probably isn't going to work, let's be honest. You know that somebody's looking towards you, you know that these players are nearby, but there's a lot of map control on the side of Turtle already, and they haven't had to sacrifice a single player for it. Natty will be reloading, definitely looking on her to step up and be that round-winning factor that we've seen her be so many times. She has the potential, she has the mechanical ability. Question is, does she have the timing and the positioning down to a T? Right now, if she wants to peek, she's going to have to expose the highway. She's going to have to be ready for a refrag from Hawaii. C4 Red, with 18 seconds left, will go out but not find its mark. And time to get down. Well, we're reaching mission critical at this point. Natty will be taken down, trying to push through, and that is going to be Nat Kyler pushing in, able to find a refrag of 4 versus 4, but no diffuser going down. There it is. CC's going to start it. Lisa gets a kill. Amy is there to try and get something. A 4 versus 2. You're able to find 1, but Sunny's taken away. The shotgun doesn't have that range. You're in a post plant, and Kyler closes it out. Turtle, it took them 5 rounds to get to this position, but they win it all out.
That is an insane end to an insane map. Again, it's, as I said, it would just go mental at the end, and that is what happened. And
5 versus 5? 40 seconds left?
Yeah, and as predicted, I knew, like, slow and steady wins the race. Let's be patient. Let's get everything under control. Let's get that control. Let's keep going. Flow with the water. Be like water, and just flow for the rocks. And then it gets to the end bit. It's like, blah, blah, blah. Like, of course that's gonna happen. It's gonna get down to mechanical skill at that end point, and that is where the mechanical skill kicks in. And all of these ladies have the mechanical skill.
Oh yes.
The plant being down once again. Time as soon as that plant down, it is for 6th attacker. Really well played by both teams. Oh my goodness. If that is the first map, then the second map's gonna be hopefully just as insane.
Oh.
This is a a certified barn burner.
No, she used the words, but yes.
I said the words, yes. I said them.
As much as everyone hates those words, and Chiefcast and NA will probably murder you for using them, that's exactly what this is. Turtle have been playing a very strong coordinated game. I want to draw that last round into attention. Natty pushes through and dies. The information's immediately there. That's the dinner bell for Turtle. They're able to find kill after kill. They're pushing through together. It's something we've seen happen in every round with both teams. These two teams are going to give us a wonderful, amazing, incredible display of how Rainbow Six Siege should be played. And this is only map 1, like you said. We've still got Kash Dostoyevsky on the horizon. Again,
that's an insane concept right now.
Yeah.
The fact that that was the first map, or 3 maps potentially. Again, don't know how that's gonna go. Really cannot determine how that's gonna go. Again, obviously the first map was ARIZING's pick. The second one being Turtle's pick. Again, in terms of map picks, I don't think there's too much there because of how standard these maps are. I am expecting, if that's how an Oregon would be, of course the Cafe is going to be equally as well versed.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, McCready. I don't know. This is a hard one to determine. I think both these teams have played so well. What I will say is it will be interesting to see. Obviously, it is coming up to kind of 10:30, 11:30, depending on where you are in Europe right now. And to play a first map like that at this kind of time, the fatigue may start to kick in for some of these players. And that may be the determining factor now.
I just feel really sorry for Fraser, who's unfortunately not feeling 100%. I had to bow out. And he's the kind of person, let's be honest, who wouldn't do it unless he really had to.
He'd lose his mind over that last map.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
he'd have loved that map, and I think I just want to send him the VOD just to show. But like you said, both teams played really, really well. They had good coordination, incredible mechanics. It's only going to translate over the CAF, and they're going to want to be as eager to get into it as we will. I feel we are going to be taking a short break just before we do, just so that myself and Grace, we could kind of take a breather a little bit and
I need it. Whew.
yeah, and actually process what we've just seen on Oregon. We won't be gone for very long, though. We will be back after that timer in the top right of your screen reaches 0. So get a sec, get a drink, take a breather, but be back in about 5 minutes' time. Hello and welcome back to the Cyber Athlete Championship Series Women's Division. Season 2, Play Day 3. A bit of a mouthful, but here we are, Grayson. What a match on Oregon, honestly.
Oh my gosh.
Incredible. It was rounds back and forth, it was frags everywhere. It was an incredible display of how to play the game at a comp level.
Absolutely. Again, it's those basic fundamentals that so many T4 teams just completely overlook. And it's the bane of my life. I don't know, it frustrates me. But that was perfect, and that's what I want to see. That's what I see everyone do all the time forever. And we see it so much in CCSW. We see people working so hard, and it's spectacular, and I'm here for it. And I think that's one thing I really value. It's just hard work, and all these women, they bloody work hard. They work so hard, you wouldn't even believe. And you can see that with one absolute, and I'm gonna say it again, so fight me if you don't like it, but that was an absolute barn burner for map number 1. I am gonna bring the UK massive phrases into this. That was a barn burner.
We don't just have beans on toast and leave it at that.
We can't just have beans on toast. It has to be barn burner, beans on toast, risky biscuits. That's a good one as well.
I think I worked out why Fraser's hungry all the time.
Because everything revolves around food.
Everything revolves around food, yeah.
Can you eat a burning barn?
We'll probably give it a go.
If a barn burns but no one is around to hear it, did it even burn? I don't know. No, I think that that first map was very good from both sides, and I have very minimal faults about what either team did there. I think ultimately towards the end it got pushed to overtime, and both teams went so patient with it for those then explosive mechanical gunfights towards the end, and it ultimately just came down to who was going to win those gunfights. And you know, I think that, Turtle getting that plant down on that last round certainly benefited them, and they ultimately took that map 8-7, which is an incredible score for both teams. Especially again, ARIZING not so fun last week for them, but now this is way more fun for them probably.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna get the gust under their gubbins,
I do want to say, this obviously being the lower bracket, both of these teams do have that threat of being knocked out. So if Turtle Esports Female come in and 7-0 on Kaf Dostoyevsky, then, well, that's ARIZING completely taken out of it. But you look at the improvement they've had in the past couple of weeks. I mean, they got knocked down here against Endpoint 14-2. 14-4, I believe, was the score for ARIZING. And that is such an improvement.
Yeah, and again, at the same time, Endpoint, that team is a stacked team.
Yeah.
And again, probably another favourite to win for this season. But at the same time, I think that Play Day 1, match number 1, especially when it's a big live broadcast like this, it can always be a little bit intimidating for players. And I do often wonder how much that came into account of things. But certainly ARIZING are showing up today, and proving to people, actually, we are a good team, and we know what we're doing, and we're capable of this. We're capable of pushing things to overtime. That matters. So
I think it demonstrates something wonderful. I mean, something Fraser loves talking about. Every single time he's on here, he has to talk about it. It's give opportunities to women's leagues and other leagues that need that representation, and they will not squander it. There will be hard work. It's like you said, these teams have both played very, very good Siege. Very measured, very by the book, and to be honest, it's been very enjoyable to watch them play it so well to such a high caliber. I mean, a lot of coordination. There was refrags after refrags in all the matches we've seen today. I feel like that's the big takeaway personally, is there's so much refrags, there's positioning. All these teams have really given it their all. They don't want to be knocked down. They want to stay here, and that's why CCSW is important. Because think about it, in the T4 scene, do you really think a team like Turtle Esports Female would have had the same opportunity to demonstrate that they are a skilled team? The same with ARIZING.
To be honest, I don't think it's that they wouldn't be able to show up in like a normal league at all. I think
No,
this is the thing.
not
A
my
lot
point.
of but I'm saying like a lot of these
Yeah.
rosters, they absolutely should keep entering multiple competitions, and getting that experience. It's more the fact that this is providing an area where they're not going to load into a lobby and people are going to start freaking out on mic because it's a bunch of women. It's little things like that that I think a lot of players take for granted who haven't experienced firsthand how that can be, and even in scrims and stuff. And it is important. It's important to have like an area where women can develop these skills without the threat of being like, I'm gonna get judged or abused for something that is out of my control because I am a
like
female.
games.
Like,
It's not even that. You like games. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter. Obviously, I can't say from a first-person point of view, but it's something I've noticed and something that I feel like, yes, when you give people a platform, a position, and a kind of safe area away from exactly what you've talked about, it only inspires good things, because we look at the games, and that was Oregon, easily one of my favorite maps I've just casted in best part of a year at this point. In my career as a caster, I started a year and a half ago, so Grace, that tells you a lot, basically, but that was only map 1. We still have Kaf Dostoyevsky to go, don't we?
we do, and Cafe, again, a very standard. Potentially, some people find it boring, but again, there's ways to approach this. There's ways to defend this. Fella very by the book, and I reckon we're going to see a bit of that. We're going to see this knowledge of knowing which places to take and how important that is. Again, Cafe, I love to call it the gravity format. It's this idea of, if you're attacking anything other than like bar, really, you are, well, even if you're attacking bar, you're attacking top down essentially a lot of the time. That is the safest way to approach it, unless you want to go in kitchen for like a bakery rush. If there's a massive extended roam where they've absolutely just sent like half their team upstairs, like, yeah, go for it, go directly through bakery and push in aggressively. Otherwise, it's a massive, clear top down.
Yeah.
Get that map control, get rid of any roamers that might be lurking, and considering how by the book the last map was and how entertaining it was because of that, like, because people were being patient with it, they were knowing not when to peek, and then those flurries of kills at the end, it was, yes, gorgeous. And I think we're going to get that again, McCready. We're definitely going to get that again. These teams know where they want to be pushing. They know what control they need to take. They know what to do. They know it. They have their to-do list. They just need to do it.
Yeah. And I'm looking towards Kaf Dostoyevsky, though. This is a map that's very different to Oregon. Obviously, like you said, the standard by-the-book way of approaching it, you can't go wrong with it. I mean, you look at a lot of these takes, a lot of roam clears, that allows a lot of potential. But it's something I talked about before. Kaf Dostoyevsky is a very, very heavily defender-driven map, in my opinion. I mean, it's something myself and Jerry the Music Man have had a lot of talk about, because for some reason we always seem to cast Kaf together. So it's something that you look at, and everything that happens on the attacking side is a direct reaction to the attack. Everything is a reaction to the defensive side, what they're doing. Think about Pixel. Think about a roam play for the bottom floor.
Certainly. And this is one thing I was actually thinking of just now.
Yeah.
So the Pixel point in piano, obviously everyone knows there's going to be a ton of utility stacked there nowadays as well. I've noticed people using a lot of like a Rooney Saria gates around that area as well, just as an extra bit of utility, a dump as well. An interesting thing I'm going to say from the attacker's point of view, we're seeing a lot of Flores get used now, which I'm very excited for and I'm here for, and I'm just curious to see whether we're going to see that on attack here and how that's going to impact a lot of these utility builds around the piano area. Again, if you're having that standard Pixel shield with the ADSs and Wamais, those ADSs and Wamais aren't going to do anything. Like, and again, I know that they've changed ADSs and Wamais, just to clarify for people who perhaps they've been away for a while. There've been changes where if they overlap, they don't work anymore. So you have to now stick the Wamais the other side of the sofa so they don't overlap as much. And it can be a nice little bit of clearing that utility that comes in then through that breach at top of red. Sending in a Flores, you're just ignoring all of that. You don't have to send any flashbangs. You don't have to throw someone on the window and like a Zofia and just send in all of her stuns and then like some concussion, some impacts. You can just send the Flores. You can literally just send the Flores and even have someone peek it if they get distracted by the Flores. There's a lot of teamwork that can be utilized here, McGreedy. A lot of utility. It's exciting.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I want to add on to your point and say, well, the immediate answer to this would be either a Mute or a Mozzie, and you typically want to go for that Mozzie, wouldn't you? Because you think you will also bring a Maestro for that map. Well, the big problem is with that Mute, obviously it will work, it'll make that pixel position a lot more defensible, is that then you're sacrificing that utility in one position to go and shore up another side. To think that that Mute Jammer might be taken away from White Stairs, or it might be taken away from the actual cocktail wall where your Maestro is hiding, and suddenly Heart Breachers are able to exploit that, or somebody playing down below is able to make it a lot harder for those defenders. You've got to look at this impact, and there's only one way to find out how it's going to happen. I really enjoyed watching Flores, for example, in NAL. They've tried to use him in this exact position. A Mute was brought out, and I think the simplest workaround we saw in DZ versus TSM was they stuck a player on the window, on White Window, and they gave him a frag grenade, and they said, "Go on, son." They died. That game was a 7-0 in favor of TSM, by the way, who are defending first. So take for it what you will. I mean, we've still got a lot of breathing room with Flores to really work out how he plays well.
But we've seen it. This is the thing. We've seen it work well for these teams this evening. We've seen it, not even in this final best of in the each year.
We've all been there.
In the first best of 3, in fact, we've seen them bring Flores to a table and utilize that really, really well. And I have absolute faith that they can do this now, both teams, and I am excited to see how that's going to go. And again, looking at how this is going to go down, Turtle Esport are going to be the ones starting on attack. So whilst it may be a defender-sided map for the most part, if they can use that utility to their advantage and clear up a lot of stuff that ARIZING will bring to the table. Again, that standard default by the book. Okay, these are the choke points we know we have to hold. What utility are we going to put there? That's where it's going to be. That's where the creativity is here with these two teams. And again, I'm here for it. I'm excited. I'm excited, and I really hope ARIZING win this map, so I don't have to buy you a pair of crepes. But
soon.
We will see what happens.
Well, I do want to say, obviously, like you said, I mean, ARIZING, they've just lost Oregon, but they're coming onto CAF as the defensive side. They're going to want to be using that creativity, and that's why on CAF, it's so much more important than Oregon, in my opinion, because we've seen a couple of really attacking-sided teams so far, but the big thing for me is ARIZING. Well, you look at the actual utility in the lineup, and you can say, well, we're going to shove it up for this defense. These are the weak points. We can adapt this. Now, you may be looking at your screen and wondering we might have missed something, Grace, but we haven't. Those bans have been completed. Thatcher, Jackal, Mirror, and Valkyrie.
Yeah, and again, by the book standard, of course, the Thatcher being taken off the board this time. I'm not surprised by that at all. It was kept in, and people were trying to use. Well, actually, Turtle didn't really utilize it until towards the end, but I still understand why that's being taken off the board. Jackal as well. A lot of these teams in this season seem to be wanting to clear that away too for that roam game, and then Intel and Mirror. Of course, that's going to happen. No one's surprised by that. No one at all. Mirror never sees the light of day. Genuinely the most banned defender in competitive Rainbow Six Siege, possibly even ranked Rainbow Six Siege as well. I'm not quite sure about the ranked stats on that, but certainly competitive.
It's high. I can tell you right now, it's high.
Yeah, no one has time for that. No one has time for that big black window of death, which you cannot see through, but they certainly can see you. And there are, especially on this map as well, there are some disgusting mirror setups that can happen. Absolutely revolting. So, yeah, no surprises here. And again, we're going to see Turtle make their way up to the top. Gravity full map, as I said. They're going to do a top-down clear by the book. Proper siege.
You're loving this vindication, aren't you?
Oh, I am.
For good reason, like you said, with this roam clear, you don't have a Nomad on the board, and Jackal's just been banned. So you need to go for the roam clear. You can't allow them that freedom of movement. Look, if you just start pushing down towards Bakery, Sunny has a lot of control to flank down. Sunny still does, but now you know that you need to clear them out. Widow up at the top floors looking to get a couple of kills, and having Sunny supporting is going to make life really hard. Now, they don't know about Widow. They know about Sunny. It's pretty important, if you ask me. Now, there is obviously pressure towards Prep as well. Mad Kyler inside that Bakery alongside the Flores, alongside CC, but this roam clear needs to happen. It needs to be successful, and Natty's going to start pushing through. She's had an incredible Oregon, but she needs to keep that momentum. Obviously, like you said, Grace, it's getting late. That fatigue is probably going to start kicking in for a lot of players.
Not ready. Lift me.
Yeah, certainly. And again, it's a very overlooked part sometimes of Siege is the psychology and physiology side of competitive. Even at T4, it's super important. Speaking of super important that ARIZING got that opening pick onto Asagi. Nadi, however, is going to trade that immediately back, shutting down Widow before she can do any more damage.
Well, 2 kills already for Turtle, who have had to sacrifice Asagi, but when you look at that, your Aruni's been taken away, Widow's been taken away, and you have to kind of look at it objectively, and that is a good trade. You're looking at these breaches, well, that's suddenly open. Lisa's going to start joining in that Flores. You get it over towards the Legion, they have to pull back, but you also know rest of Kitchen's clear. That means Natty's going to start pushing through and being able to find a kill onto Sunny. Takes away that second roamer that we saw earlier. Amy's looking for another frag, but it's just not going to come through yet. The plant will go through. The C4 goes to deny it, but it's not close enough. Amy Lee is going to have to go for it instead. The plant will go down, and Natty has to cover double. The player in prep of Lisa, you need to play together. This crossfire can end it all, but if it's not done properly, it can be the end of this round. Amy takes that damage, will be taken away by Lisa, and suddenly she's still taking that goo mine damage. It doesn't matter though. Cece's there to find that kill and give the first round to Turtle.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, very strong from both sides. Nice trades coming through as well. Very by the book. Again, I just feel like it's unsurprising how that went. But
Good
I will
question.
say that Harry, yep.
Which book? The book?
Let me think of a book.
It's a very loaded one. I've been told to turn to the right page in the script. Sorry, I'll back off, Grace. I'll let you carry on.
No, I'm here to recommend books. If anyone wants me to recommend them a book, shoot me a message. I will recommend you a book anytime.
Grace's book club.
The
post show.
Honestly, I'm here for it. Again, I really love how impactful Flores can be, and I love that they're still sticking with bringing it. I also love that we're seeing Sunny on Tachanka. Since the Tachanka rework, like I used to hate Tachanka, and even to be honest, admittedly, when he was first reworked, I was like, oh my goodness, like why is this happening? But it's so good for holding in comp. Like it's so good. You could actually waste so much time with that utility. Like it's insane. And absolutely here for this as well, to see how this is going to go down. It's kind of like, okay, you're bringing Flores, we'll bring Tachanka. Fine then, we'll fight you, nail on nail.
Fire with fire. It was so close.
Oh my goodness, indeed, it could have been fire. Oh, I'm sorry.
Nice
I'm sorry.
Widow, though. Widow's not going to be that fire. Once that frag for the spawn peak isn't going to happen. Turtle make it very safe, and rightly so, actually. It's something you talked about before, didn't you, Grace?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, there's really no reason to rush or make any kind of relatively simple mistake. Die to something so expected / predictable. Of course you're going to play it safe at this point. Of course you are. And again, both these teams excellent at doing so. even things like this, taking the claymore before you go for your little window pressure that we're gonna see. Oh, we're not gonna actually see it. I'm assuming someone else will then take the pressure at that point on that eastern side. Ooh, that was a little bit naughty. Kyler getting that really tight kill onto Widow actually. Yeah, that was very naughty. Again, this utility being cleared here by the Flores bots, and it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah, you see a lot of reinforcements from ARIZING, realizing that Turtle, they like these Rotero drones. They like using these RCXDs to blow up that utility, or the Rolly Whirly Dirlies, I think. I can't remember exactly what the T1 casters decided to name it. But,
everything under the sun at this point, honestly.
Yeah, you're not really wrong, but Asagi's getting so much information now that she can just go and she can point out the information and say, right, here is a player, here is some utility. We need to deal with the utility, get the Rotero in. Simply put.
And they know it's absolutely clear all the way up to Cocktail now. They know that the whole of Bar is clear. Freezer assumed clear, at least. I don't think they actually managed to drone Freezer too much, so... you know, they know that a majority of these defenders are now positioned around that Cocktail area or around Pick bathroom. As we see Sunny here, but Sunny gets a pick, but actually gets taken down immediately by Asagi. Claymore is going to go down just in case the flank comes through from Amy in bathroom right now. But it's interesting here because they're going to get the wall open, I would assume. They've Claymored that door. I'm guessing they're not even going to try pushing into bathroom. Oh, wait, no, it appears like they are.
I think Asagi's just putting the pressure. She's holding the angle, making sure nobody does push up. Because obviously with that, you know, Claymores can be shot out. Right now, Turtle, they don't really want to commit to any specific push. They have an entry round to sight. But if that player in Freezer starts causing an issue, they need to deal with it. Asagi, though, isn't the player to deal with it. Kyler's going to be able to fund the refrag, and we'll be looking for more. But the Yokai stops the plant going down, and the time couldn't be any better. Oh. There it is! That's why Echo got so heavily banned before that rework.
I mean, the invisibility definitely helps as well.
It does, but...
yeah. Still an annoying piece of kit, that. Still an annoying piece of kit. Oh my goodness. It literally comes down to those final few seconds. You know you got a plant, and there's just this wub hitting you in the face every time. Every time, ref, every time. I love the use of Rooney that, you know, Saria Gates we are seeing since that she's been allowed into compet, and we're seeing that a lot this evening on a lot of different maps. Every map we've seen pretty much, actually. But I think everyone and their nan kind of knew that Rooney was going to get heavily used in compet as soon as they saw, like, you know, her release. Everyone was like, oh, that's how it's going to go, is it? We're leaving one utility dump meta for another one.
It scared me because it literally, it was like you said, we went into Shadow Legacy. It is still in that 20-second meta. And we went into Neon Dawn, and all these changes were made with the Jaeger ADSs, with a lot of utility on the board. And then immediately we're going into... And then immediately they announced a new operator, which is draining utility.
Yeah.
And giving information. And it kind of scared me, but I feel like she's in a good place. She's powerful, and she's a really good pick. But if she didn't have the ability to make these rotates, I don't think she'd be as oftenly picked as possible. Sunny wants to draw attention back to her because, well, Sunny, well, you deserve it. You've got some incredible player behind you. So let's try and go for that spawn pick. Not going to happen at ARIZING. You're just going to walk away and be happy with what you got.
Yeah, most certainly. And it's, you know, we've seen... I wouldn't say a full clear. There's it's more of a, I would say, I don't want to call it a lazy clear, but you know, there's a lot of drone utility being used to make sure that this entire map is clear over you know, player count. So we're gonna see, here we go, we're gonna see Asagi and Nadi drop down and start to work their way through, but we've still got that pressure coming in from Bakery as well. And then presumably at some point, you know, we might see Nadi start to work some verticality in kind of train. I would not be surprised if we saw that at all. Whilst that wall and bakery gets opened. So this will be an interesting one. That's how I think it's going to go. And again, slow and steady wins the race. It's going to come down to those final seconds of just furious gunfighting from both sides. No one's really overextending too much on the defense. There's not really a aggressive roam coming through at all. Everyone's playing it safe right now, and rightfully so, because it is getting very intense on both sides.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we're at 1-1 on a defender-sided map. Turtle able to find that first kill. Mad Kyler wants to get something in the first kill in this round. Isn't able to land it just so far. Now, one thing I really like is the fact that Asagi runs that Yana to get this information. Obviously, she played that Yana and the Jackal in that last map. There's no Jackal. You know, with instead of one little glance and you say, right, this entire top floor's clear, and this entire mid floor's clear, you could just run in, Lisa. You're using the Gemini instead. You're getting that information. Turtle are playing the info game. They're making sure they're going to the gunfights knowing what's going to happen. And right now, if they have a drone and they have that spectator screen right now, they'd see that they've got a very bumpy road ahead of them. Widow will get concussed and will get some pressure applied to them, but Natty's going to be able to find the kill. Those concussion nades, they come in huge, but Asagi's going to be able to add on to it. That's suddenly taken off the board. You will find a refrag coming through from Amy Lee, but is it enough? Might be, because you've got to pick up the diffuser again and expose yourself to the breach. Amy Lee going down. Don't worry about her so much anymore, but Amy is still there. Two aims. Well, they're just going to be trying to gun their way out of it. Not going to happen. Tucci able to find a frag onto Asagi, though. Will look to get behind because this plant has to come down. It's all down to Turtle. Can they hold these flanks? Do they know? Can they stop the plant? Tucci barely just gets the kill, but a bit too late. Suddenly you have to find the kills, and oh, that's just not going to happen. That was so close, Grace.
That was uncomfortably close. And again, one thing I really want to point out is just how good Turtle are at actually just being like, okay, we are actually focusing getting this plant down right now.
Yes, that's what I go for.
Yeah. They're very effective at being like, okay, yes, we can, you know, it's getting a little bit spooky. These trades are coming through, but we're going for the plant. We're absolutely going for it. We need to get that objective. We need to get the time in our favor. And I think that's a great sign for that team, 100%.
Oh, yes. Just 100%. I mean, you're looking at Turtle, and that last round didn't go well. I mean, that IQ, that's a direct counter to that yokai that we saw in the second round, let's be honest. You have that IQ, you need to be able to deal with the utility. They took away the bandit charges on that wall, which is why I'm really surprised that Cade is left on the board, and even more surprised that Cade is not being picked. Because if you can put it on that bakery wall, you see that little bit that juts out, that very, very solid thing that you can't shoot through. Just get a K-Claw in that. Sorted. You can't play the vertical game with IQ. You have to get a Maverick in there, and suddenly that exposes you quite a bit more to that prep.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, defo. And it's...
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb.
I mean, this is the thing. It's everything they're setting up here that you can see. It's nothing razzle-dazzly. Again, it's very standard and like, okay, yeah, cool, great. But the attackers are still choosing to be very, very safe and patient. Again, every time they're going to that top roof, they are clearing it absolutely. And again, the defenders aren't really bringing a explosive roam game. There's no aggression as of yet. I mean, I don't want to speak too soon because, you know, Caster's Curse, it could end up being like, oh, well, as soon as, look what happened. As soon as I say it, Sunny tries to run out, lob a C4 down onto CC and is immediately taken out. So, I knew it was going to happen. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I knew that would happen.
I like to think you broke it, actually, because then you then called it, and you said, oh, it's going to get Caster Curse. Look, it's happened before, it'll happen again. And she jumps out. So, you know what? I'll give you that one, Grace. You've done it. But
my point was that there was nothing too aggressive yet, as of yet, but Turtle was still taking the time to clear it all. And, you know, they're ARIZING, yes, they tried something different, a bit more aggressive, and Turtle were there and ready for it because of, again, I guess the patience that they're bringing to the table here. Asagi getting the pick onto Widow again, so pulling this even more in their favor as they start to get rid of these bandit charges. And it's, you know, 5v3, bandit charges are gone, wall can now get opened. It's looking pretty strong again for Turtle.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Turtle, their opening gunfights have been incredibly strong. Now, Tucci will be able to bandit trick that utility, but the big problem is, well, Lisa's still above and can just shoot it down. Well, you deal with that with a gunfight and you take them away. Kayla's going to be pushing that prep area. Suddenly, well, the breach might not get done. But you still have that player advantage. You have a minute, you have the vertical control. Nadi, playing on that engine, isn't going to get taken away with a C4 and will clear the utility. That means that wall will get opened, and they still have that dominating pressure up above. 40 seconds left, and you're going to need it. Now Kyla looking to get this gunfight. Hopefully ARIZING, they've learned their lesson. They don't get aggressive. Emily's going to be doing exactly that, though, finding 2 kills, giving ARIZING that advantage, and now the last 2 players, they need to be together. Natty will have to pick up that diffuser, run all the way back into sight, and suddenly the big opening that they were going to use to win the round has become possibly their doom. 15 seconds left, and you don't want to go there. You don't want to go through the obvious entry onto site, but you don't have a choice. Tucci's going to be able to find 1 kill, though, and Amy gets the second. ARIZING will pick up another round and push themselves up back to the top floor.
And again, it's 4. It's like round 4 has just been won again. 2-2, going into round 5. It's still this kind of cat and mouse race that both teams are doing. It's such an even matchup right now, and yes, you can say that it is defend decided, but both these teams are very flexible in how they are reacting to each other, and I think that's super, super important to point out. And we're seeing the yokais come out in full force again, so this is going to be a funny one again, I think.
Yeah. And IQ, very obviously still on the board at this point. I think they're just saying, right, we're just not going to worry about it. We're going to play it safe, do what we know. Hopefully we're going to see that IQ being able to take away those yokais before they end the round in favor of the defenders. But ARIZING have drawn even. It's been a round for Turtle, a round for ARIZING. Back and forth, back and forth. Can they break the curse? Based on their last performance here, I'm going to say yes. Their refrags was really good. Even when they lost players, something was happening somewhere else on the map that made it a lot more difficult. We saw that bathroom. As soon as one player ran in there, another got a kill. But then Cocktail started to fall for the pressure of the defenders, didn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my main thing for this is just I am thinking about that kind of, bathroom area, and yes, there was a nice pullback when it needed to be, but they don't have that Chanky now. There's an Ella being brought to the table, extra shield utility. I appreciate it. Sometimes I can be a little bit biased towards Ella. I mean, I think a lot of the time when I see players bring it, it's because of their own personal comfort and not really too much because of the gadget or even the secondary. I think there's better operators to bring, certainly to this map, that have that shield utility.
Goyo.
But, Goyo's a good example of that. That's two shields in your pocket already. Or even, a Frost. A Frost on Cafe is a spectacular thing because you can catch people off guard. Even if they try and go for those, abstract pushes, you can catch them off guard with it. Tucci gonna get us started though with the kill onto Mad Kyler.
Yes, and well, right now we're just going to see Widow sitting in that piano. Well, diffuser's down, and well, Lisa will go down below, but right now it's that Gravity Falls position. You want to attack from the top, not from down below. Normally when we see it, it's a rush strategy to catch them off guard, and Widow is able to get right up against that window, waiting. You can feel the comfort of Widow right now. She's just ready for it. She's ready. She wants somebody to peek her. She is daring them to. That's not going to happen, though. It's going to be a push from Red Stairs that is going to be, dare I say it, very heavily telegraphed. And Asagi will be able to go down below and start this vertical play. Natty supporting as well. The question is, how are they going to deal with some of these roamers? We'll be able to take away Sunny, so that's one question answered, but Amy Lee will find the refrag. Asagi, the buck is taken away. Natty needs a refrag, gets Amy Lee, what a shot! And now in a 3 versus 3, 50 seconds left on the clock, and Lisa looking to take control of Piano, but Widow can still be there. More importantly, though, you're on your own. The rest of the team need to catch up. They're checking for the yokai drones. This is good. They're looking for it, but, well, Widow's able to find one kill, looks for another. Gets taken away by CC. 30 seconds left, 2 versus 2. It can go any way, as long as these yokais are taken away. Time ticking down, and they're going to have to push. I'm feeling tense. I'm feeling worried, and look at that position. That's such a safe spot. In the default, though, that looks like where Lisa wants to go for this plan to take place. Nothing's going to happen just yet. You've got to get CC there. You've got to get her planting, and suddenly the yokai comes around. Lisa spots it, but does nothing about it. You have a player to worry about. The plant will go down. 40 seconds left on the clock. C4 goes through, doesn't find the kill. Yokai will get that jam and that shot, but it's too late. Amy will be able to find a kill onto Lisa, though. It's all going to be down to gunfights here. CC wants to win it, wants to take Amy off of the board, and we'll be using this minibar angle. Do you know where the player is, though? No, you do not. You're going to get the burst from that yokai. They know where you are. They're going to start defusing, and actually, it's the concussion. It's the schmott mines. That's going to be Tucci finding the kill, and ARIZING will be able to take the lead.
Yeah, and again, that was still really good, considering the fact that it was a very difficult situation to be in, because they were so tucked up against that bar. And yes, you had the yokai, but they had the IQ. If you made it too obvious, that would just be shot out immediately. So, yeah, very tricky situation to be in, but very, very good teamwork there by Amy and Tucci. Very good teamwork indeed. Worked really well together then to get the defuse and the last kill off the board. And again, it's ARIZING taking their 3rd round. This is the last round of this half. I'm curious to see if Turtle do pull this up to 3-3. At the same time, what do you reckon is going to happen if it switches over to attack? Like, because again, ARIZING, they're kind of, you know, at a very head-to-head point against Turtle right now, and it's the thing that I'm thinking is, like, I hope they can bring that same kind of patience on the attack. I feel like they will. Again, they know when to be aggressive and they know when to be patient. Both these teams do. So I am hoping that, again, it's going to go even teams again. We might even end up in another overtime. If ARIZING struggle on attack, that's going to be a bit of a scary moment, I think.
Yeah, I look at this and I say a 3-3 split is the worst case scenario for ARIZING. Obviously, this is Kath, and Turtle on their attack for Kath Dostoevsky have been quite strong. They've been quite good. In the rounds they haven't won, they've been quite close to winning, and that's a big issue for ARIZING. For a defender-sided map. I'm going to look towards Turtle. If they get a 3-3 split, I'd expect them to win it out and close everything out in a 2-0. But that depends on a lot of things. First of all, Sunny, if you're able to get that spawn peak and get that 4th round on the board, well, that would change things. I'd expect it to be a lot closer.
Yeah, I mean, it's also things like how much utility ARIZING are willing to invest in on their own attack. Again, if they, you know, the last map they had issues with yokais themselves, then they brought yokais to the table this time, which Turtle struggled with. So again, are Turtle going to start bringing out the yokais again and kind of beat ARIZING at their own game here? Will ARIZING bring an IQ to deal with that? So many questions yet to be determined. That wall is going to start getting opened up though towards the kind of area. We're also seeing pressure from the windows. The roam game is a bit stronger here from ARIZING. Lisa, however, is going to take down Tucci as that opening pick for this round.
Yes, now, and something we've talked a lot about tonight with the roam game and ARIZING, they've had a really strong one. They've had a very impactful one, but so have Turtle, and the roam clear of Turtle, at least in this first opening gunfight, hasn't been that bad. The rest of Turtle, though, they're going to make their way down towards these red stairs, Emily backing away, realizing, well, we've lost Tucci. They know I'm there, and they know they need to clear me out. They've wasted an air jab. That's the best case scenario I'm going to get. So I'm going to pull back and let the rest of ARIZING get these crossfires. An ADS up on the top floor kind of makes you wonder, well, it might not have as much utility down below. That might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, certainly, but, I was going to say, Turtle have all this control now. They certainly do. Very good. The pick onto Widow. They have top floor control. They can go for that default plant soon if they wish to. All they need to do is create that setup, collapse into it, plant down, jobs are good.
Yes, and the vertical play will start coming through at a minute left on the clock, and Mad Kyla's going to get to hella work with these breaching pads, and as soon as she's done, Lisa can just take over. She's probably dealing with a lot of this utility that's on the board. She's probably dealing with the fact that CC wants to get that pillar wall open. Now, this exposes you to a lot of issues. Sunny isn't going to be one of them, going to be taken away in that engine area now. 2 versus 5. Amy Lee and Amy do have some power positions of that white stairs and that engine. That plant's going to start going down. Amy Lee's going to take that damage. CC on 1 HP is going to need support, but wants to take the gunfight. No, go for the plant. Amy Lee will be able to find the kill and drops down and waits. Also, on incredibly low HP. Big problem though for Turtle is that they need to pick up the diffuser as well. They have got it now, but the Maestro cameras are there to deal with it. The C4 takes it away. Amy Lee's gonna find Asagi. The plant's going down into 2 versus 3. The Alda is coming out from Amy, and now it's gonna have to find 2 more kills to win. Crouch walking down red. You're looking for the next kills. You know they're gonna have a crossfire. You need to isolate this. So Amy pushes forward. Has to move forward. It's going to be Lisa finding that kill, though. And we will have a 3-3 split, Grace.
Yeah, I am really not surprised about that at all. Again, saddened that there couldn't be a clutch there. I did feel it in my jellies a little bit. I was like, oh, come on, Alda, come through. Like a hot knife through butter, as I so frequently say. But ultimately, yeah, very, very difficult to work with. Very minimal intel there. So, an admirable attempt, close but no cigar. 3-3 split for that first half. The pressure's on. The pressure's really on now, McCready.
100%. And Bar Cocktail Lounge.
Yeah, Bar Cocktail Lounge. I have faith. I absolutely have faith. I think ARIZING can definitely attack in a similar way that Turtle did. I think this can remain strongly even. Stevens, I do not want to buy you a pair of preps. I am not losing this bet. I reckon ARIZING.
I'm not actually going to hold you to it, you know that. Unless.
I was planning on holding you, so I don't know what that tells you about me.
Right, well, to give you a bit of background about myself, I'm a recent graduate with no job, so you feel good about that, okay? Casting, pretty much my passion. Now, one thing I'm very passionate about right now is how Turtle are going to defend this site. They've gone for a much more typical setup with their operators. They have the Jaeger, they have a Wamai, they have the Goy, the Malusi, and the Mute. This basically screams out that they're going to play that default setup. They've made those lines of sight and freezer. That mean you're going to play a freezer player and a bathroom player. Because of this, you're going to make it impossible crossfire and piano. Now, a lot of teams, like ARIZING, reinforce the whole thing. Turtle, they're not doing that.
Well, this is it, because you have that shield in freezer, it allows you coverage still, and you've got that reinforcement coverage, but it's such an aggressive angle to hold as well. It can prevent any push towards Pixel without you really having to play anyone on Pixel. They've also got the line of sight from bathroom as well, but Sunny is just waltzing into sight. She is giving it the old razzle-dazzle. She's going to get shot up there in retaliation, so no razzle-dazzle left there. Again, forcing Turtle to reposition though, so that's quite interesting. Okay, that's good. Turtle are repositioning to deal with that immediate threat. So it has, ruffled their feathers a little bit here, and they are having to be aware that there is this lurking Ash just randomly now under New Hatch, and that bit of distraction is allowing for a bit of drone work to come through from Piano.
Oh no! You hate to see it. The frag grenade bounced off the window, and the C4 followed and didn't bounce off the window. Was able to find a kill. Widow is going to be able to equalize that a little bit, but you still have a player advantage, but map control doesn't really reflect that. Turtle, they can do exactly what their name suggests. They can hold this position. CC is such a power hold over this freezer area. She can pull back and get killed by Amy Lee. Now 2 versus 4 in favor of the attackers with a minute 20 left. This push is looking like it's going to be in favor of ARIZING, but especially with that Ghost Shield going off, it can be a trade. That's what we're going to see. But it will push up, gets taken away by Natty, who just goes on the wall, goes on the hunt. But hungry like the wolf, like we said before, needs to find 2 more kills. The plan has started to go down, and no C4 in pocket. you're going to need to win this gunfight against Amy. And honestly, you don't even go for it. You get the quarter to the planter. You need to go for the Twitch. You're not going to get it, though. And somehow, ARIZING are able to win their first attacking round on Cocktail. Very, very close. Very, very heart-in-mouth moment.
Absolutely. Natty coming through with the quad kill then. Absolutely putting in work, getting that lunge. Oh my goodness. That could have been so bad. Really quick reactions from Amy though, shutting it down before it could turn into an ace, actually. An ace. Whew. That was a slight jarring moment, I will say.
It kind of reminds you that you're not invincible. You are human. You are able to be taken away now. An interesting 6-pick here, actually, of the Nook.
Yeah, we saw Sunny bring the Nook in the first map. Which, again, I was wondering if that was strategic or just personal preference. So I am curious to see how she will push with this. In the map of Oregon, it did appear a bit more strategic because it was a solo push. To kind of catch people off guard, catch roamers off guard. So perhaps we'll see a little bit. This will be interesting to see where Sunny pushes from, because realistically, I don't think Sunny is going to be pushing from Red Hatch along with everyone else. I think that she may, in fact, even go underneath and push from the underneath. That's what I'm expecting from that, to be honest. But again, if that last round's anything to go by, I mean, Sunny literally just tried to waltz into sight, and if she would have pulled that off, that would have been incredible.
Oh, yeah.
But there's such a big risk of doing something like that, and again, she got badly shot up, and then decided, okay, no, I am just going to pull back. And here we go, yeah, exactly. Sunny is going to push that from the bottom of White Stairs. She's going to do a full bottom-up clear, which is... bottoms up, is that okay to say?
Yeah, that's fine, you know.
So yeah, she is now on the hunt for any roamers, which indeed there are around that kind of study area. So this could get nasty very quickly. I don't think Matt Kyler is aware of the positioning of Sunny at all. I don't think there's been any intel to show that. And again, this silent step that she can turn on at any moment, which she just has. This is going to be a little bit spooky.
Yeah, it is. Kyler's gonna spot it, though, and gets the kill. You said Kyler didn't know about Sunny, but Sunny didn't know about Kyler. And what you're seeing now is Kyler not only has another kill to her name, but is now that new hatch. That's a big issue, because now you're forced into this one position.
This is it. What would have been maybe nice is like new hatch, throw a drone down there, lob it over the edge towards pillars, and then have someone drone there, so at least they think, oh, they're droning us from hatch still. They're checking to see if we're from pillars because they're going to try and push from hatch now. That at least distracts that person at pillars for a bit longer, allows Nook to sneak up the stairs. So perhaps face checking wasn't the best idea there, but we'll allow it. We'll allow it. Again, I love the fact that that was picked and that approach was taken. I just think that the plan in motion could have been a little bit better.
It would have needed a drone up top, because the drone down below would have given away the name of the game, and Kyler does not miss. C4 will go up and be able to find her second kill in the round, and Tucci will be back on this cocktail window. The frag grenade will go through. We'll be able to find that kill. Natty, the top fragger for Turtle in both games so far, taken off the board. Now ARIZING, they have control of the freeze of the piano area. Sweetie. That's a shame. Using the Twitch drone to open up the Meister Evil Eyes, but Lisa was ready. Looked up, was making sure that that wasn't going to have that much of an impact. You weren't able to capitalize upon it. That's what we need to see Turtle doing. They need to bunker in. Amy Lee's going to make sure that's not happening for Usagi. She's taken away, and Tucci still has cocktail window control. Well, Lisa can deal with this by playing over towards Freezer, but now they know exactly where you are. You have that older. You need to make it sing. That's not going to happen with Amy Lee on the board. She's finding kill after kill, dismantling this defensive lineup. Right now, CC goes down below. They know the plant's coming down, and they know where. Do they trust it? CC, do you use the C4? That plant isn't going to stay down for long. It's not the wrong spot, and the plant will be there. Kyler and CC now in a 2 versus 3 retake. 37 seconds left. They have time if they can get aggressive very quickly. Kyler's going to be taken off the board thanks to Amy Lee on her 3rd frag so far. CC, something big's gonna be needed.
Something big couldn't be given. Again, that was a really, really nice approach there by ARIZING. I was a little bit concerned at first because, again, I was expecting a lot more from that roam clear initially, but they just kind of, they just took that control. They cleared out players and they got the plant down. And at that point, as you say, it's a retake situation. And if you're at a player disadvantage, that is a lot harder, especially if there's minimal intel utility left on the board. ARIZING just won their 5th round. I mean, again, I was saying that I'm hoping that they bring a stronger defense as Turtle did, and so far, absolutely they have.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're looking at this and we're saying, well, Turtle, they had a good attacking side, but that's what all the rounds they won were. 3rd round in a row, and they're up at the top floor. They haven't tried that bottom floor at the moment, which it makes you wonder, Grace. Maybe they're not comfortable with it. Maybe they're not ready to go down there, and that is quite worrying for their map pick. I mean, ARIZING on their attack, though, I can only compliment it. They played it really well. They played together. Their frags have been really strong. They have played a really good game of Siege and deserve to be in the position there where they are now. But if you remember, this is where we were on Oregon, and we know how that went.
Yeah, certainly. We're seeing a little bit. Is that the shield on Pixel being used at the time?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. So they've actually brought a shield to Pixel this time. Because I don't think they actually had one last time. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure, unless it's just because I couldn't make it out with my eyes. But yeah, they're actually playing Pixel this time, while simultaneously having that shield set up in Freezer, the long lines of sight from in Freezer as well. So again, it's still aggressive setup, but with adaptations now. And I think it's a strong setup. I really do. At the same time, ARIZING on an absolute steamroll on their attack so far. As I say it, Widow starting this off with a pick onto Matt Kyler. Again, opening pick going to ARIZING on that roam clear.
The bottom-up clear, as you coined it. And it worked out this time. They've been able to find that early kill. They found Kyler, who got the only 2 kills of that last round. Lisa's able to take away that Twitch drone, and, well, you look at that and you say, that's good, that's great. But what's really going to be benefited from that? Well, what are you really going to get from that? Well, you know the players there. They've lost a Twitch drone, but now they know where you are. The vertical play is going to start taking place onto CC, who she's not going to feel very comfortable. Widow has been such a dominating factor. Maybe he doesn't have the most kills in the lobby like Amy Lee, but has definitely had a very noticeable impact for both sides of this lobby.
Definitely, and it feels like there's a bit of a standstill here. I'm not sure if Nadi is aware here. I think she is actually, because we just hit the C4 rip, and that C4 is going to land on that window. Does a little bit of damage to Touchy, but doesn't quite manage to finish her off. So, again, patience. We're seeing so much patience here from both sides, and absolutely they need to do that. Oh, that was a bit bolshy, Amy Lee, trying to push up and take Pixel by surprise, but Lisa ready and waiting for her, taking her head clean off.
Yeah, able to take away Amy Lee with the diffuser. If there's one kill you want to even things up, it's that. Widow's going to be taking some damage on White Stairs, and Sunny will be able to find the kill onto Lisa. Turtle, its the name of the game is to waste this time. That diffuser is still in no woman's land, and you do have somebody defending it. Lisa is dead. But Nadia is there, able to find Widow. Evens things out at 3 versus 3. Asagi will be picked up behind. On the window, actually, from the upside down angle. I do have to correct myself, but time is ticking down. Turtle, 2 versus 3. They only just got the diffuser down, though. And there's still 2 smoke canisters. They could deny this plant very, very easily. They don't have the yokais, but the smoke canisters are going to do the job perfectly if they landed in the right spot. That will be called out that they're not, but the plant's going to go down. You're going to need Natty to stop it from taking place. It's going to go down anyway. CC will find that kill onto Amy with the smoke canister. But you're putting these attackers into positions where you have to go to them. Tucci up on the roof and Sunny playing by that lumber. They just wait. They just hold it down. Tucci's able to find that kill onto CC. Right now, nothing is stopping ARIZING from that match point. Natty is going to try and do exactly that, but you need to win another gunfight. That's the player on Skylight. You know they're going to peek. You know that they are going to wait. You're just going to try and long arm it from the freezer. You're going to be able to do it.
No!
Tucci has to drop. Tucci doesn't. And Natty's going to be able to win that clutch to 1 versus 2. What a play. How does it go that long, Grace?
She didn't know. She was so sure. We saw the little wiggle on the roof. Oh my goodness, that has got to be
How does
the
it go
most...
that far?
I would simply throw my keyboard at that point. I mean, to be fair, really good work by ARIZING there. Really strong attack. Amy sacrificing herself to get the plant down. The smokes are coming through. You gotta stick it. You gotta pull that timer in your favor, and that's absolutely what they did. And that's why Tucci was so confident. You know, she couldn't hear that. She couldn't hear that diffuse go down, and she couldn't hear, you know, the long arm. And ultimately, the timing. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to be honest, we should be on match point at this point. In my personal opinion, we should be one step closer to Grace getting some new shoes, but...
Absolutely. I mean,
Here we
always. Hello.
Right, okay, moving on. Turtle, the first time they're coming out to this bottom floor, and they are bringing the cave.
Yes, and you know, I like that. Not only, basically, there's a positioning in Freezer where you get the wall and the hatch simultaneously. So I'm assuming that's why, because then the second floor, or even actually they've got extra mutes as well. So mutes could be used for those, you know, kitchen walls. 1, 2, yeah, kitchen walls. Maybe a bit of a mute situation in bakery as well. That wall, I am assuming, is going to be Kaided. Maybe there will be a second Kaiden pocket, just in case. Only time will tell. Widow getting the opening pick onto Natty yet again. So good with these opening kills, is Widow.
Yeah, she really is. Like I said, a very controlling presence right now. Kyler's able to find a refrag onto Widow, but VIP control, Whiskey, all in favor of the attackers. These Romas have been on the top floor, but ARIZING have said no. We're going to go down below, and right now Emily wants to pressure on this double. Well, Sunny will be there as well, and fun fact about Sunny actually races, if we do see ARIZING win this round like Sunny wants them to, if they do win this map, she will be subbing out.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll be subbing out. Sunny's gonna be able to find another kill though. I mean, she wants to go. I mean, Sunny's able to find a third with the Claymore. It's all down to Lisa and... Okay, yeah. Sunny has somewhere to be. Holy moly, that plant's already going down. Lisa has to try and stop it. Amy will be taken off the board and Amy Lee comes off the plant. But you know what that player is. You know that you can stick that plant over there. Sunny's able to find a fourth. What a round to really step up. You were cheated out of the last round of match point, but now you are there. 1 round from Clubhouse.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, that's interesting to know about Sunny. I'm going to be curious to see who subs in for her, you know, in the final map if Turtle aren't able to pull this back now. Again, pressure's on. We have seen them, like, these teams pull it to overtime before, so there is still potential for Turtle to do that. But ARIZING are just getting so aggressive with it now. And that is even more aggressive. A Lion and a Ying being brought to the table.
We are gaming now, but there's 6 in the Ying because they see the Warden's been picked.
So they're taking the Dokubi, which is even, again, these...
Still, it counts. It's aggressive.
But this is what I mean. It's really gonna prevent any movement. So the aggression from the attackers cannot come through. If the defenders are stuck in a static position, it allows minimal flexibility. If you're droning on top of it, this might get nasty very, very quickly. Very quickly indeed. And again, yes, there is a Warden, so perhaps those flashes won't do much, and you know, the smokes to cover the plant, but
Grace?
yeah.
Funnily enough, you know how I just said Sunny is subbing out after this match, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, she went and got a 4K and then said, you know what, I think I'll play the third. So if we do go to a third map, she will be here as well. And after that last round, makes a lot of sense, but I was interrupting you and I am dreadfully sorry.
I love that. I have to leave. I have things planned or I need to go to sleep. And then, oh, suddenly, the passion hits.
That, you know what that is, Grace?
Passion, that's what that is.
You've just won your quote-unquote last game of the evening and said, you know what? I want more. One more game, just to a T, right there.
It is, but I mean, from personal experience, whenever I'm on a roll, I'm like, oh yeah, one more game. That's when things start going bad. But
Hopefully not for her.
hopefully not for Rising. Yeah, hopefully not for Rising. Hopefully not for Sunny. You know, it'd be good for them to win this right now. And again, look at this use of utility, popping that Lion drone just so they're able to jump down and clear this very, very quickly. You know, a minute gone and they can already start working this verticality on the top of site. So, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Here we go. Sunny coming through with those grenades. She's going to try and find the heads of Turtle Esports. None so far, though. Still a 5v5. As I say that, CC's going to take down Widow. So there we are. Widow not getting the opening kill this round, but actually being the opening death.
Yeah, I mean, having that kill onto Widow, it's genuinely something Turtle badly need. Like you said, Widow has been incredible at that opening kill. Suddenly, with that Dockery taken off the board, you have to think, well, that might be a crack in the armor. They might not have that entry gunfight ability to lead them in. The halfway mark has just been hit here in a Rising. Only 5 kills away from ending it out, but there are crossfires. There are players they need to deal with. They know about CC's position. CC will drone forward, will be droned, and will be killed. Amy gonna fill in for Widow there, getting the opening pick for their team, and still a Lion scan on the board, Grace, and as C4 start to go out, you can see Turtle, they're desperate for anything at this point, because they know a one mistake could be the biggest problem, can end it all and put us through to Clubhouse, but in doing so, in worrying, they might just bring that back a little bit quicker. No, only one C4 left on the board, and last time we saw it, it was Lisa who's able to find a kill onto Sunny. Amy is going to be looking to get something, getting another avenue of attack in, but that Banshee is going to cause the issue. That's going to be her being taken out by Kyla. Amy Lee has to get on the attack, so does Tucci. They need to play together. No more Lion scans left on the board, and Tucci finds the frag onto Lisa. That's the last C4 gone and 30 seconds left, but the player advantage firmly in favor of Turtle, especially when you consider Tucci above.
Yeah, certainly, and there we go, Asagi falling to the unstoppable might of Tucci. This is the part where Tucci really needs to rotate down, though. Again, 10 seconds on the clock is a little bit risky. Oh my god! The diffuser isn't a hand. Tucci is upstairs. This is exactly why it's so important to be very, very mindful of the timer.
Yep. Turtle Esports gave it a good go at letting ARIZING take it, but in the end, they bucked up. Lisa fell to the vertical play, then Tucci was able to find another kill from the vertical play, but then Turtle found the kill that really, really mattered. That was the frag onto Amy. And because of that, well, you close things down. That diffuser's gone that time. 6 defender, like you said, it's gone. Turtle, keep on plodding along. Can it be for one more round?
That's a very cute mental image of just a turtle, like, going...
Yeah.
It's interesting how I've just clocked. I've said so many times this evening, Slow and Steady wins the race, and they're literally called Turtle Esports.
Don't tell Fraser, is my advice.
I mean the amount of puns that would go down if Fraser was here right now. But
We're better than that. Is it better?
I mean, you know, doing it without him just feels almost shell-ish. That was bad. Actually,
I'd like a new cast.
Never let me do that again. Never let me do that again. If I do that again, just put a pillow on my face and smother me.
Oh, production's just got over me. I've asked for a new caster, and yeah, or replace me with Grace.
2 Graces, imagine.
I guess you're in charge now.
I guess I am.
Top 4. What can we say about that?
You know, again, relatively standard setup that we've been seeing from Turtle. They're really loving this Warden, and I do understand it. You know, they want to utilize that counter to any flash utility Arising will bring. It does give them the shield as well. They've got the extra shield on the Echo as well with that oh so annoying yokai. I'm just curious again why they wouldn't bring maybe like again a Goyo. It's an extra shield in pocket, and the thing is again with Warden, it's another one of those cases where it's an operator where as soon as they die, that utility can't be used. The shield can, but nothing else.
I do want to jump in on this and do say that while we look at ARIZING's pushes on this site, very heavily smoke-based. Suddenly a Warden makes a lot of sense. You know,
Yeah,
you see
absolutely.
through that smoke. You have a pulse down below because you think about that C4 that was missed as well, and they're having... Okay, right. You know, mature game, guys, mature stream and everything, but moving onwards, that Twitch is going to be looking to get rid of that utility. That was, as our producer says, shocking to see. But moving forward, Turtle Esports, they're on the back foot right now. ARIZING, they have all to play for, but Turtle, if they can get a couple of rounds, they can really shut everything down. But Widow, very fast control of piano has just been taken.
Yeah, fast and furious. Widow Drift once again just getting absolutely stuck in, making her own rotation through bathroom. It's freezer, but it's automatically shut down by Nadi, who was holding her own in this freezer box area. So thank you for the extra rotation, ARIZING, but this freezer belongs to me.
Yes, well, Tucci's a little bit annoyed about that. We'll be able to find a frag onto Asagi with the frag grenade, and, well, Tucci... Okay, you look at this position, and suddenly you might not realize somebody's up on that heaven balcony. They might not know Lisa's there, and if that is the case, it's gonna be such a free kill. And I hate to say it like that, but it is gonna be a free kill. CC can maybe give this information and say where Tucci is, but a minute on the clock, and we're seeing ARIZING all playing on these windows. This is going to demand a 30-second push. A 20-second meta's going to have to be there, but Nadi's going to make sure it isn't there for Amy. She's going to be found with that P10 Roni and found lacking. Now, Turtle, they know where a lot of these attackers are, and they have the player advantage to play for refrags. Question is, though, is Sunny going to be able to chip away at it? Yes, she will. Tucci's able to find CC, gets the pulse off the board, and now, a 2 versus 3. Are we going to Clubhouse?
It's as you say, I do think they're aware of Lisa's positioning here under the window, so this could get nasty very quickly, and it does. Lisa taking down Tucci, evening this out to a 2v2. Can Turtle Esports push this to match point? Overtime, rather, sorry. Whoop.
Yes, well, right now, Lisa is going to be that last bastion of defense with that yokai Jamina. Amy Lee's going to be taken down. The diffuser's gone. Sunny doesn't have it. She needs the frags. And Turtle, they're going to push us through to overtime with Lisa finding that final kill. Eventually.
I mean, goodness gracious, that looked so strong then.
That was rude of me. I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize. Go on, sorry.
I mean, it looked really strong for ARIZING, and then it just kind of fell apart a little bit. Again, I'm not sure if the framework was coming through or what really happened there. It just felt like a lack of intel there, a lack of intel kind of doing them in. And here we are once again, overtime, Turtle versus ARIZING. I am not surprised by this at all. I said at the start I would not be surprised if we went to overtime, and look where we are. And ooh.
That makes sense for Widow, though.
Absolutely,
yeah.
But don't know if it's to play. To be honest, I know exactly where that's gonna go. It's that push where you get nice and prepped, and then you go full send, you know, through the eastern windows and get the plant down. But
not exactly.
I mean, well, that's a nice plant that people do, but Widow obviously does not have the diffuser. Amy Lee does. So I am assuming this is just a sudden, the kind of rush strategy where you go into cocktail as a Rooney and just try and land a few kills. But again, I feel that's a little bit, just a bit naughty.
Right. From what I've seen of this, with the armor on this map, it's you go into that eastern window. Widow's been really good with those entry kills, obviously. It's something we've talked about before, it's something we've noticed before as well, and with Widow, she'd be able to just get in that window. And with that, you're distracting almost every eye of Turtle. This is going to be coordinated.
It's I mean, I don't know. I'm very particular about how people play Avuni, and I do really prefer that they go for their let's pretend we're pushing through piano, pull them to us, and then suddenly the planter actually is the Avuni, and they jump up onto the balcony and they plant there.
Well, Widow's decided neither of us are correct. The bottom uptake, it reigns supreme, apparently. Now that camera is going to put a little spanner in the works. Asagi not having the best round frag-wise, but Oregon was very good for her. Playing it safe, and that's the right decision. She's playing it smart now. Because Tucci's going to be back in this window. She's been there pretty much every single round we've been on this site. She's been that presence nearby. And with this, Widow goes to the roof and drops back down. I'm confused, but I'll let her work her magic.
Yeah, unless it's to, like, get a bit of an entry kill here and then, you know, drop down a hatch, maybe go out the window. Something like that. I mean, yeah, I'm equally as confused. Sunny, however, is going to get the kill on Tanadi, so that is at least the ARIZING getting the opening kill for this round. A good start for them on this first round of overtime.
Yes, well, that opening kill will allow, like you said, they have that pressure. They have that control of a player advantage, but CC is looking to shoot down. And right now, it doesn't seem like it's going to happen again. Tucci, the frag grenade will come up, will find its place right in the lap of Legion, and will be taken away. Amy Lee is nearby, will have that diffuser ready for a default card spot plant. No Echo on the board. Well, the Echo is actually on the board, and the Echo does have those yokais available, so with a minute left, it's going to be a lot of frag work required from the attacking side. All 5 players means this is possible. This is easily winnable for them. And then you knock Turtle back onto the attack. Time ticking down. Asagi has to hold down White Stairs. As soon as the push on White Stairs comes through, well, suddenly you're able to find that kill. You shut down that push, but a refrag is there. Lisa's able to get a refrag, and while Asagi is down, we're in a 2 versus 3. Make that a 2 versus 2. Make that a 2 versus 1. Tucci, we've seen her on the roof time and time again. This time, you need to get off your high horse, jump down, and go for some frags. Mad Kyla and Lisa stuck inside Freezer. They just play together. They play refrags Grace, and this could be Turtle picking up that opening round. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Kyla finds that final kill. Turtle, their first round of defense, they win it. I'm being very rude, I've noticed that, and I want to apologize.
I mean, I'm so confused by the Avuni situation that we saw.
Yeah, it's been weird.
Yeah. But Avuni, Amory, sorry.
I would like to apologize. I've been a bit rude. Let's be honest. All of these players would slap me around in a lobby. Right, I'm not debating that. Like,
yes, they would. They would absolutely
100%.
make mincemeat of you.
They've all been playing incredible Siege at this point. Overtime in 2 maps, Grace. Both of these teams have been playing incredibly well, and I've been a bit critical. Their plays, they might have some blunders, but for myself and for you, Grace, in the UK, it is quarter to midnight. For some of these players, it might be a little bit later.
Yeah, certainly. I think for Sunny, it's 1:45. Yeah, so that's again why I did feel, it would probably go to, when you said sub, I was like, oh, perhaps it's because of the lateness of it. And again, the psychological and physiological impact of playing this late is so draining on players, but at the same time, I'm just expecting utility if it's brought to be actually utilized.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think sometimes the positioning that we saw just then from Turtle is a little bit squiffy as well. So maybe the energies are starting to get a bit wavy between both.
Yeah, that's a huge impact. You gotta remember the morale, the energy, the passion that the teams have. Such a big factor in how they play out the games. Do they play aggressive, confidently? Do they kind of half commit to swings? Do they go for some peaks they're not expecting to win? That's a very important part of this. Now, ARIZING, they're expecting to win them all. Yet again, we're seeing the potential spawn peak from Piano. But yet again, we're seeing Turtle say, we're not bothering. We rotate around, we go the safe way. That's the right choice, and I like to see both of these teams making good decisions about them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, it's really interesting because obviously, if Turtle win this, they win the series. And ARIZING really need to win this to be in for a chance of, oh my goodness, that was the most bolshy thing I've ever seen in my life. Widow, her aggression is absolutely insane. I'm wondering if someone's going to be waiting for her now, now that they know, you know, she's gone in through the bottom floor. She has to come up somewhere. Are we going to try and send someone to catch her off guard with that? I mean, they're sending the intel utility here, but you know, my point is, ARIZING really needs to win here in order to not get knocked out of the season. So again, just the Amaru, Aruni rather. Amaru. Oh my goodness, it's not. Sorry, it's late.
It's
my
getting
brain
you,
is
isn't
like,
it? It is.
It's like the heat of my electronics being on from about 6:30 in the morning till now.
Gotcha.
It's getting to me.
Widow's able to get 3 though, like you said, Grace. I think it's hitting in that you lose this, you're out. Well, Widow's going to be able to stim up just a little bit more. The pre-fire does that damage. CC's able to find a kill, but Sunny's there for the refrag, closing it out. The MP5's doing all the work, and Grace, 1 round closer to Clubhouse. 1 round further away from going to bed.
But you know, this is the thing. Like,
I want to go to club.
They absolutely, you know, this is exactly what happened on Map Mill when it got to 7-7, and it was just like, oh my goodness, like how are these players just playing out their absolute minds right now? Like the pressure must be so intense, and I think, you know, potentially there is some signs of, you know, ARIZING having a bit more fun with it. That's what I will put down some of these sudden bullshit moves. It is just kind of this spur of the moment creativity of like getting into the motion of being like, yeah, we're doing well and we're having fun with it.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
that's what I'll put that down to. But again, this round, I'm not surprised at all that both these teams have very standard lineups here.
I do want to say, I mean, building on from your point, you know, this league is obviously about providing a place for players to play competitive and to win and to be good and get better and get experience and everything, but you gotta have your fun as well. I feel like Fraser he's got that kind of personality where he'd explain it a lot better, but you've gotta have your fun with it. You've gotta enjoy it, and I hope that both teams are. They all deserve going to Clubhouse, because they have both played out of their minds incredibly. I mean, I've been a lot more vocal about it this time as well, as you did last time, Grace, but they've been playing incredible games. It's been very impressive to me, and regardless of how this game ends, this is arguably one of my favorite matchups that we've seen so far in the season.
No, absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree with that. Like 100%. Yeah, absolutely. This has been a phenomenal matchup and super entertaining. And again, if this is the lower bracket, the upper bracket is gonna be, I'm gonna say it again, full of barn burners.
Oh no, she said the forbidden words.
I said the word.
No, your casting license is gonna get revoked. Oh no.
It is. Oh no.
It's bugged. No, genuinely, this hatch, it happened in EUCL quals as well. That hatch is bugged, and it leaves ARIZING with no option other than to do what Amy Lee just done. And while this is not the biggest issue for this site, imagine if this was Bar Cocktail.
Oh, absolutely. That would be...
round over, genuinely.
Yeah, that would be, you know, the defenders are getting a benefit from that bug, and that's always an unfortunate thing when it comes to the game sometimes, but...
They didn't ask for it.
Getting a better angle.
ARIZING have decided pedal to the metal is the appropriate response. We're gonna have a bit of fun with it. Widow yet again on this entry with the knock. Able to move down into the code check. With the suppressor as well, arguably I don't really think there's that much information given away, because you think about the vertical play going on as well. The presence over towards Small Bake. ARIZING, they've got a very good control over towards this north side of Cap, but Mad Kyler's going to be able to find that first kill. Lisa is ready with the C4, will be forced off by that red wall being opened up. They know that Bakery's safe. They can go there and get control of it, but not if Tucci has anything to say about it. A wonderful double kill coming out from her and putting them in a great position.
Absolutely. Player advantage right now is certainly going to benefit them. The only thing I am concerned about is obviously 30 seconds on the clock, 2 players still upstairs. We've seen this happen before with ARIZING where, you know, players have been on roofs, they've been in on the floors above when they really need to start getting that collapse into sight.
With 20 seconds left, that vertical pressure might be what you need, Mad Kyler. Gonna make sure that isn't happening. Tucci's taken off the clock, and right now, 10 seconds, that's gone as well. Emily's being picked up by Kyler. She's on a tear. She finds a 4th. Can she get the ace, close it down, and knock it all out, or is time gonna do it for her? Yes, it is. Turtle Esports female will knock out ARIZING from CCSW. Very, very well played. An incredible matchup from start to